I don't know what's going on, guys, but we
Hey,
here,
that's
man.
that. Hey, that's that Mercury retrograde, huh? Ha.
It's that retrograde because we came in with some crazy stuff like before. We had to get our brother's his video back straight. But I was playing Corey Buck's new song. I don't know. You ever listen to Corey Bucks as a spiritual artist?
Nah, I haven't. I haven't heard of.
Yeah, y'all guys go check out. He got a new album called In Bucks We Trust. It just came out a couple of days ago, but he supports Bobby real heavily and Brother Panic in them. He will put them in there. And he does like music with other big artists. So he's a student of the master teachers, and I like to showcase spiritual artists on this channel, as y'all may know. And yeah, he just came out with a new song called Melanin with Donnie Arcade. For some
Oh,
reason,
that's fly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Donnie
He's
Arcade.
on he's on DSPs.
I'm not sure.
What's his name? Corey Buck?
Yeah, it's BUX. Corey, CORYBUX. Y'all make sure y'all follow him on all platforms, Apple TV and everything. I mean, Apple Music. Yeah, you guys check him out. But yeah, I got my brother here today.
What's up, family? What's the deal?
I got to put you on the big screen. We here. This is my brother. We go way back. Dream wise, is such a pleasure, my brother, to have you on this channel. You know, I don't even think, were you on the last channel I had? I don't even think we did an interview on my last channel. But
oh yeah, that's right. You had the channel had got this erased.
They off that channel. And I know why. We'll talk about it in a second. But we did a lot of interviews on your channel, and you've done excellent interviews going back when you was doing Sunday service. You still do Sunday service?
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, back in the day, the Sunday service was popping. Sunday service was popping. You brought a lot of different people on through Sunday service and gave them light. You know, in the occult community, a lot of people didn't know about a lot of people. I was just coming up, you know, way fresh. Nobody really knew who I was, and I remember you giving me that opportunity, and I started to think back on all of the people that I first started with in the information, and you were at the top of the list. So I said, let me go back. Let me talk to Dream Wise. Let me reach back out, talk to Mr. Bandclap, the people that inspired me, you know, in the podcasting community. I looked up to y'all to start mine. So it's a pleasure to have you on, brother. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I feel great, Oni, and I appreciate you, man. Like like I told you, I didn't realize you was that young when I first met you. I thought you was up there with me, the 40 Club. I said, God, because I read your book, and you know this is a spiritual thing we're doing right now too. Remember, I just showed you that post. I said, Oni, it was a few years ago, 4 years ago, that I shared your book and said, y'all must go read this. And sure enough, it was the same date, March 6th. I said, oh, that's, as I said, hey, there ain't no such thing as a coincidence. March 6th, 2021.
Wow. Time flies, man.
And you know, you can see light in specific people that so when I was doing the Sunday service, it was just more so about, you know, building and growing with like-minded individuals that have a specific genius about them. And you definitely got it, brother. So it's like, you know, it was an honor to even just interview you at that time, and it's an honor to be on this platform too, and just keep on building. You feel me?
We got to keep it going. We got to keep building. We got to do this more. I want to reach back and connect because I'm like, yo, so much stuff, information and different angles and perspectives and spiritual light that we can give when we come together. It's like we start to charge up, like in the Dragon Ball Z, when they get all the Saiyans together, they start to charge each other up.
Yes.
You know, so I said, let me get with the brothers that was doing this way back then, and let's have a charge up real quick. And I'm honored for this show today. So, tell them a little bit about yourself, brother. What you've done. I know you're a metaphysicist. You're probably only one of the few people I know still that call me Oni. But I respect it because it reminds me. People, when y'all hear that, y'all be like, "What do you call him Oni?" He's not incorrect. I had my name when I first came out was Oni Osaru, and it's because I got it from Osher watching his videos because he's great. The priest Anu Ani, but he pronounced it Oni. You know how sometimes with the Black American, our Ebonics, he was calling the priest Oni. So I started to call myself Oni, but then when I look back, he did another video later on. He said Ani. You know, so I looked at it and I was like, well, I don't want to keep on calling myself Oni. I also didn't like the gematria ciphers or what was encoded in the name. So I switched I felt like it was a rebirth alchemically to go into Ani. And you were one of the few people that called me O and Oni. And that's respect to you, brother.
Oh, you know, it's just the hood shit in me. You feel me? That ghetto has to come out. You feel me? So the vowels A-E-I-O-U, they're all in the same boat. So you know what I'm saying? I just roll with it. And honestly, shoot, I thought it was still pronounced. Oh, well, you know, that's good because we got to talk about sound today.
Yes.
That's going to be a very powerful thing to really tap into sound, pitch, vibration, and just really make sure we give the family that level of genius. But yeah, a little bit about me. Shoot, you know, I just was really in the space of, I've been spiritual or whatever you want to call this thing, or conscious my whole life, right? And essentially, you know, everybody goes through their trials and tribulations and their journeys. I think one thing that happened to me was I picked up on Bobby Hemmit in college and when I was 18. Shout out to my bro guy Lil B. And essentially what happened was I'm listening. There was something there that I could hear and feel, but that was it. It was almost like entertainment or almost like a pride thing. You feel me? It was almost like, yeah, we Black and we need to be in this specific space of empowering ourselves, and there ain't no such thing as Jesus and all of that mumbo jumbo. You feel me? So even in that, I was confused. I was still confused. I was still in a influx of religion and spirituality, right? Based off of I really didn't know what Bobby was talking about at 18, 19, 20. I was just faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are still believing that they're spiritual, but they're just getting more of the inspiration thing. You feel me? And in the process, I was just like any nigga, drinking, smoking, weed, bars, cocaine, drank, right? Just a real live hood nigga that believed he was better than people or whatever with the information. You feel me? At that specific time. But until I came into my own gnosis and self-reflection, it happened 2012 when nothing happened to the earth.
Yeah.
You remember that? I said, oh my God, we still here, because I'm thinking the earth was going to really go away just based off of Bobby and some of the teachers saying like, this is it. You feel me? But nothing happened. And when nothing happened, I had to really look myself in the mirror and say, all right, well, who am I? And that's when I just started really getting down with the work. And I just threw away the whole aspect of the human, if you will, the addictive behaviors to the body. And I started going into an alchemical process of transforming my body, mind, and soul by just being real disciplined. So now my whole motion now is basically just about the work. Like everything I talk about is work. That's it, really. You know what I'm saying? And just what I've done and how I transformed into work.
Yeah, I mean, you've done an amazing job enlightening people. Like you are a soul beacon of bringing people into the fold of understanding what the alchemy is about. And not only that, you're an example. You along with your wife, y'all both are examples. You know, because a lot of people talk about these things, but we never really have the examples in the community. I always look at it look in respects to a family who's spiritual. How often you see that? You might get one motherfucker might be damn spiritual, but you'll never get a family unit that's cohesive and have the kids, you know, being brought up, man. That's some powerful stuff, man. I love it, man. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah. I think it's just based off of who you are, because, you know, the inside of you will just reflect into the household. So naturally, as I'm just a spiritual being having a human experience, if D Ray is seeing, if my wife is seeing me meditate, and I'm seeing her meditate, or we're doing specific things in the aspect of uh healing ourselves, then naturally, you know, it's going to rub off on our kids. None of our kids got vaccine. I have 4 kids. Never would we had ever thought about vaccines. It was all midwives, you know what I'm saying? So we went down the whole holistic approach to this thing.
That's great. That's great, because RFK, what he's talking about now in the Saturnian golden age of Trump and all of the things that's being unveiled spiritually, you know, currently, you have to understand that they're clearly telling us that health is real big. That's why I had a couple of shows recently on health and why there's so much sickness is the foods have things in it that shouldn't be in it more than ever now. Maybe even back in the 90s, I don't remember us being this sick, man. You know, coming up as a child, I don't remember the community being this sick, man. Or every other week, somebody's announcing they got some sickness, or somebody in their family came down with something else. Shoot, my brother in the hospital right now, man. Like, he dealing with some type of bug or something like that, some influenza bug that hit him real hard. He be up under them houses. He's a what you call it? I forgot what the people that fix the air conditioners and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He has to have his full strength throughout the day to be working on them things and being under people's houses and doing all that type stuff. He just came down with something out of nowhere. But like I said, it has something to do with the food, how we're taking care of our health. And it's important for us to, even though we can get deep into the metaphysics, because we are going to get into that in a minute, you know, but you guys got to eat healthy, because your cells are conscious. What you're putting in your body is also you have to be consciously aware, because that's a low vibration to know this shit going to fuck you up in a couple of years. But you eat that sandwich be so good, you be like, damn, this shit good. And it's wrecking you years down the line. So we got to learn how to eat. I'm not saying you got to be some damn super vegan or something like that, but just be aware and put some the right thing in your body.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely that, Oni. It's definitely that. But it's also a spiritual psychic attack in the minds of melanated beings, or people that did fall for the okie dokes they call the yabba dabba do, right? So, you know, if I tell you to don't think of an elephant, you're gonna think of an elephant regardless, right? So then them putting out this narrative of this idea that, hey, it's messing y'all up. Oh, look, this is what all that jab causes, right? Once they put that out, now it's a thought virus that's infecting the people, and now they're gonna stimulate a response in their body to create the disease.
That's
So
right.
I thought it was genius when I seen it. I said, "Oh my God, they run it," because you know it's them that's putting it out, because they need you to think that you're sick. You feel me? To make the sickness come alive.
Right. And then we start to back that subconsciously, you know, because everything is reactive off the subconscious, as our master teachers taught. So it is already being programmed in the subconscious, and it's being relayed consciously. Then it begins to, in the matrix or the hologram, really affect us, you know, here. So I became more health oriented in the last year or so. I really started getting back in the weight room recently. I look back, I was getting big backisms, you know, big backism.
Yeah.
So I hit the gym. I've been hitting the gym real hard. I went to the gym every day of the week. And I just saw my body change in ways I've never seen it. And I said, I feel good. I wake up, I'm able, the people ask, how the hell you get all this damn information now? You run a spiritual shade room, you got to talk about celebrities here and there. And on the back end, you got to have lectures and do all this stuff. I said, well, recently my health improved.
Yep.
So I can take it to a new level now. And I have the endurance because I still have a job. I have the endurance to do what I need at work. I can take care of my son because I got a 3-year-old running around, and then I can have the energy to give y'all something on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, working out is important because essentially it's a mental game in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you got to get to this point of willing yourself to go, right? And that deliberate thought activated by the will is important for you to consistently discipline yourself. See, you know what's so fucked up? A lot of spiritual people think that they're trying to win the lottery or something. They're not really in the space of being in a spiritual worker. They're in the space of like the church. You know what I'm saying? The feeling good mechanism. You feel me? I just got to show up to church, right? That's what they do. They show up to Oni Osaru, or they show up to Dreamwise or Brother Yosef, and they feel like this person is bringing me some good words and encouragement. And then at the same time, at the end of the day, that's just a false feeling that's not going to really amount to nothing if you don't actually apply something. So the gym is an actual spiritual practice that we're doing. It's literally mental alchemy at its finest.
It is. And I be having nigga-isms with it. I'll talk myself out sometimes going to I say, well, it's kind of cold today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did I go to the gym? I would be having war in my mind because I go early in the morning. I'd be like, it's kind of it's 20 degrees. That's a good excuse not to go to the gym. And then I'll be driving and I'll just take that right that go to the gym. Let me take my ass to the gym.
Yeah. I go early in the morning to 5:30. The gym opens at 6. So I'll be there early in the morning, getting it in, you know what I'm saying? And I do spiritual work in the gym. I listen to my audio auto suggestion, just me listening to myself over and over and over again. Just in a whole nother space of like gone, because really in the gym, you're just really working out and you don't really hear the music. Right. So then if you listen to yourself saying powerful words of affirmations and love to yourself, and you're lifting weights, that's bypassing the conscious mind and going right into the subconscious.
It is.
So that's a great way to transform not only your mind, but your whole spiritual energy. You feel me? By just lifting to yourself, saying some words that's going to put you in a new trajectory of your blue sky thinking, whatever that might be. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I completely agree, brother. And I've never heard it put that way. But that's why we got to bring the big guns in sometimes. The gym is spiritual. Definitely a spiritual lab to cook it up.
Yeah, because you know what's so interesting? Like I be like, just imagine, right? Because I do different type of sets. So lately I've been doing 3 sets of 10, but I used to do 4 to 6 reps from that dude Mike Matthews book, right? White boy. And anyway, essentially it's like about building strength. So, you got to get to 6 reps, 3 sets of 6 to go to the next level or to add more weight. So it's a disciplined action in just charting, you know what I'm saying, seeing how far you can progress upwards, you know what I'm saying, and just being in the space of understanding that it's all going to work its way out if you just follow the steps.
That's right. And I've been incorporating calisthenics a little bit more. I didn't really know what that word mean, but now I'm starting to do that more. And yeah, man, I got to get out to get my dad bod off.
Yes,
So by summer, I'll be probably back in my God body from high school and everything. So it's very, very
Ashay.
yeah, I feel
Exactly.
kinda,
Gotta
yeah.
get back. See if I can lose, and this is a stretch, but if I can lose 60,
Mhm.
what, and get my energy back up, whew,
Ooh,
what?
60, woo. I'll be rolling. I'll be rolling then if I could do that.
What?
Juicing, I'll have to juice a lot, but
I'll
I
be
think I
having my wife upside down, boy. What? I should. I'll
it's
be
right.
having her going crazy. What in this
Yeah,
thing?
right, right,
Shoot.
right. But speaking of that, you were talking recently about a book that you guys read on your Patreon. By the way, guys, all of DreamWise links is on the tab. Just click the tab. You had a pop-up book club on
Mhm.
the Secret Science of Sex book by T.C. Carrier. Can you talk about that a little bit and expound what you were speaking on recently about that?
We just started it. We started it maybe a month ago. We've been reading a lot of different books. We read Joe Dispenza's book in the Patreon. We read Panic's book.
Mhm.
We just been doing a whole bunch of things. I would basically read books in my Patreon, and we build and dissect the information. And this dude, Oni, I'm telling you, dog, this nigga right here,
I was listening to you about it.
he's basically like Bobby or Lalela Africa,
Look him
or
up.
like or he can be like sort of like Panic, but like more, but he's more so like I would say you can lean into Bobby. You probably got this from Bobby, honestly. You feel me? No,
Oh
I'm just
shit.
not trying to shit on the guy, but I'm saying
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, he was
he sounds
inspired.
like, you know what I'm saying? He sounds kind of like Bobby, TC
Oh,
Carrier.
okay.
And the guy is
I'm about to
dropping
pull it
some
up.
gems. Essentially, right now, he's going through like he went through the school system, just the understanding of school system. He's really Afrocentric in the aspect of like melanin and us being the superior race, if you will, you feel me, and all of that
Mhm.
other kind of science. Lalela Africa is a perfect example of what this dude is. You would love this. What you, boy, you, I know. I'm telling you, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's the guy. And he
Okay.
break down our ancient science, basically the like the elementary means the elementary school is supposed to be about the elements. You learning about the elements, right?
Mhm.
uh Intermediate school, you're supposed to take another advanced lesson into spirituality, and then the high
Mhm.
school is just the highest degree of uh what you can achieve with the mind and stuff like that. So it's definitely a great read so far. And the last part we was talking about was melanin, and and that is basically the basis of our chaos, you feel me?
Right.
So in the grand scheme of things, um, he's getting into a space of how melanin works inside of us and why we do specific things. You feel me?
Right.
So it's a genius way to give people um motivation. It's the same stuff. Layla Africa, we've been reading neuromelanin, right?
Mhm.
And all of that, and how powerful we really are, how the potential we have, you feel me? Chaos is just raw energy. So in this raw energy we call chaos or melanin, we have the ability to create out of nothing, and uh uh
Mhm.
out of ideas or situationships, just by thought alone. So it's just about us putting ourselves in the specific spaces so our melanin can be activated and so we can create. So yeah, it's a very good book, and we ain't even getting to the black male and female sex yet, but I'm pretty sure I know where he's gonna go with it.
Right, and that's important because one thing I be teaching on Patreon. By the way, guys, make sure you're subscribing to Patreon because the spiritual practice of applying these things. I call it potentiating your DNA. The melanin, you can't just wake up, think you got melanin and everything's gonna go the way it's gonna go. Like I named the video "The Child of Chaos." We're gonna talk about the singularity of consciousness with Cinemancy, with the TV shows. We're gonna go into a couple TV shows, guys, but we are the children of chaos, especially spiritual people. But the melanin, understanding what melanin is, opposite, I mean, just looking at the skin color, your skin color. Melanin is deep rooted in the body, and the melanin is spiritual, it's carbon. It's 99% of the universe. So understanding that part of it is to know how, when you're applying the science of spirituality and magic, it starts with your inner child, alchemy. So a child of chaos, what does that mean? When you're a child, you're very chaotic. The chaos, like, your mind is everywhere. You're running all over the house. You know, most of the time you get the energy out. A child is a perfect example of what chaos is, if you think about it. And that's the basis of where you start your roots, the roots and how you grow and fully bloom into what you become is from childhood.
Yeah, you're in the potentiality stage. Everything is an adventure. You're trying to see what you can see. You feel me? You're trying to go into a space of like molding and developing stuff. You feel me? Like my kids, they run around, not like my 1-year-old. He's straight chaos. He go into my magic room, my meditation room, and knock all of that stuff down on my altars. I got so many different altars. And I'm like, this boy right here. But sometimes I'll be thinking it's spiritual because he'll grab certain items off the altar and just place it somewhere. And I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Like the other day, he grabbed a train and played. I got this meditation chair, and then I got this table where I do some of my work. So the table usually be clear unless I got some work going on or whatever, right? And I'll put all the stuff back. Anyway, he grabbed a train off of one of my altars and just put it right there on the table.
Oh, wow.
I get up in the rising. I get up and I see it when I said, oh, that's spiritual for your ass, boy. I said, oh, okay, I know what that is. I'm training because I was thinking a certain thought, like, what is going on, right? And I said, oh, okay, I'm training myself right now to become something new for the future. So, because you know what I'm saying, like this whole thing we doing on YouTube and stuff, I think it's been 7 years now, right? It's cool and it's one of those things, but then after a while you can start second guessing yourself. You feel me? You can start having these thoughts of like, all right, well, is people really getting in and right? And mind you, I manifested freedom off of being on YouTube. You feel me? With just my supplements and Patreon and all of that. So now it's a beautiful thing, but is there another level to this? Is it just like entertainment and I'm just entertaining people, right? Yeah. And, you know, I had to step back and just realize that, you know, in this specific time that I'm in, right, I can't make everybody get to a certain level or because, you know, you got a heart, right? And we're like, damn, I wish they could just get it and understand what I'm actually saying. It's just, hey, buckle down and do the work. Right. But it'd be hard to convey how much work it takes to get into a level of freedom and, you know, spiritual gnosis, and then just having a knowing from your crown chakra. You feel me?
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of people are willing to do that, right? A lot of people ain't really is not really about that life because there's so much different fears that they have to get through. And, you know, and I had to just really come to a space of myself and say, oh, okay, well, I have to just keep doing me, and the one person or two people that actually get it will fall into alignment and just start moving accordingly. You feel me? So I can't just really shit on myself. I got to keep on training myself to be, a better speaker, a better provider of thought. You feel me? And a better understanding of how much work it takes.
Right. And getting better is very, very, that's me. I got to get better. Like in my mind, I'm a perfectionist. I got to get better. I got to get better. I got to move the show better. I got to have results better. I want people to understand it better. How many other ways can I do it? It's always going through in my mind. But that's a show of you are alchemizing what you're doing, and that's very critical to your development.
Because we could be saying the same thing for years. We saying the same thing for 7 years only. 7, 8 years, the same. Hey, I'm saying the same thing.
The whole damn time.
Every season, I'm telling y'all the same things about the seasons and everything like that. So then, it just basically comes down to just being an eschatologist and just decoding the world as it shows up. But then that's just part of my channels and downloads for me. I can share it with the family, cool, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you can do it too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it gets to that specific space as well.
Well, I wanted to read this before we talk about the movie you saw, Childhood's End. The inner child is a note I took right here. The inner child is an aspect of your subconscious mind within which all of our attachment styles, attachment problems, traumas, hidden emotions, certain limiting beliefs are stored. Healing this aspect, which is the inner child, is a deeply personal process of healing codependency, integrating abandonment wounds, mother and father wounds, or trauma. It's a process of letting go of or unlearning the attachment problems, the habits, the behavioral patterns, subconscious beliefs, mindsets, and stuck or hidden emotions that have been instilled in you during your formative years. That's the first 7 years of life, by the environment you have been raised in, which continue to dictate your behavior and which you carried into adulthood without being consciously aware of it. And finally, breaking free from this past and outdated subconscious programming by learning behavioral problems, habits, mindsets, and subconscious beliefs that are in alignment with what you really want, with your true self-worth and your true power to secure attachment style. Then you achieve the Chiron or Chiron effect, is a term that describes our connection to the patterns of the deepest wounds of our past. These patterns are what we have been accustomed to living with. And for this reason, the pain they cause has become normal to our everyday life and the choices we make. So this Chiron effect creates an opportunity for us to get clear on and understand what it is that keeps us going back to those painful moments often found in our childhood. What do you think about that, brother?
Yeah, we came down here to experience the hurt, the pain, the traumas, the sadness, the ups and downs, the joys, the fears. You came down here to experience your look. You came down here to experience your insecurities. So in that experience, you just have to understand that that's part of your spiritual walk of life for you to overcome the lower 3 chakras. So from 0 to 7 is your root chakra, and your root chakra is basically the ground you walk on, or the earth, and your stability here on earth. 7 to 14 is your sacral chakra, and your sacral chakra is essentially the joy and fun, or your sexual exploration that you have down here on this particular earth realm. And then your solar plexus is your confidence, your ability to will yourself into specific things. So then all of those things from 0 to 21, you're basically in your earth heavy. You feel me? In them ages, right? You're dealing with high school, middle school, and then the elements, which is elementary. So now all of a sudden what happens is we create an identity in them younger years. There's a book, I'm trying to look for it now, that really breaks down the DNA codes and stuff like that, if I can find it. But in those specific times, we lose ourselves, you feel me? But we came down here to come back and find who we truly are, who we're truly destined to be, right? The movie Moana sums it up heavily. Remember when Moana, she had to get away and see who she was destined to be. So she had to go out to see who she was destined to be. And that childhood's end is a very, very important aspect of our movie that people should watch, based off of it just reflecting, especially towards the end, as you see the child and the feminine child at that being the leader, is basically just talking about your feminine essence or energy, your creative energy, and you tapping in back into that source of your freedom, your exploration, your fun, your laughter, right? What are you passionate about? A lot of people are just going through the motions of survival mode because they're afraid to live. You came down here to experience. You didn't come down here to just work for somebody or just, you know what I'm saying, take all your energy and put it into somebody else's dream. You came down here to move your passion. What are you passionate about? So as a child, you had a passion and it kind of got suppressed based off of the traumas.
No, that's real. That's real. And the main thing is actually the activity behind it, the trauma, the chakra work, and realizing where do these things stem from. Because a lot of people I do consultations for DreamWise, they really don't know how deeply the childhood, the inner child alchemy is important in transforming. I call it umbra kinesis instead of shadow work, because I give them an exercise spiritually where they can meditate and go back and meet the version of themselves when they were facing that trauma, and actually meet up and in meditation talk to that portion of yourself, because that portion of yourself is still there in the subconscious. And when you bring that portion of yourself back into this statehood that you're in now, then you it's almost like you transform into another being of light that's even more powerful, because now you have that portion that was darkness before in you, and now you've enlivened it with light, and you connected the somatenetic effect. It becomes magical. It's almost like you're bringing the magic of your own universe. Each of us are our own universe, and you're bringing that fully out by working through what happened early in your childhood. So how does this all tie into, because you saw the movie, you were talking to me about childhood's end, and I like highlighting these different movies, because I think it is very important. They're almost like the hieroglyphs of the time, like Bobby used to say. But how do you how does this movie Childhood's End play into it? I'm gonna show a couple of pictures while you share.
Well, remember the childhood's end. Remember who was the guide?
Who was it?
It was like a devil image. You remember the alien devil image was the guide. You remember that? So then when I seen that, and shout out to my brother Yosef, he put me on the show. When I seen that devil image as the god, I was like, oh, there it go, baby. That's it. Because essentially it's the what they call it, concealed in the smile of horror or something like that. Remember the Baphomet is that the depiction of keeping y'all niggas away from what y'all fear the most, which is you being your ultimate divine self. So a lot of people are just getting along to be along. They're afraid to speak up for themselves. They're afraid to express themselves through the throat chakra and be their pure, authentic self. And it's a fearful thing for them to be their true authentic self because they don't want to be judged and ridiculed for being who they are divinely. So the when they show these devilish images or these fearful images, they're just really keeping y'all niggas out. Straight up and down. Because the Baphomet is just a multi-level symbol of spiritual work. So then when you look at the symbol, it says as above, so below, right? Pointing up, pointing out. The wings is astral travel. The horns is the pineal gland. Him sitting in a meditative pose. That's all what we talk about is the Kundalini energy, the caduceus coming up, masculine, feminine energies with the breast and the phallus, the Pina and Pingalis spiraling up. All of that stuff is just essentially giving you the understanding that, yeah, this image may look scary with the two eyes, but if you can see it with your true eye, it's actually a message, a spiritual message for you to do your work.
And that's the thing about it. Now in this age, with me also being a part-time decoder of things, the Baphomet to the conspiratorial half of the spiritual community is always, referred to the whole T-Rans, the transgender movement, or to something strictly devilish on the end of secret societies, where they say these people worship the Baphomet. But the Baphomet, I always tell people, I know this one guy, he got mad. He shared something that I put out and said, look, Ani Osaru worships the Baphomet. He said the Baphomet actually means the Negro head. Remember in the book by Idris Shah, the Sufi, when he said that the Baphomet was nothing but the symbol of the Turk Negro or something like that, and it mean the golden head, or it just mean enlightenment. It's just, it has the symbol of the Baphomet is an enlightenment symbol, but they made it grotesque to lock your ass out of the secrets. And that's what the religious conformity of the mind has done to us. Anytime we see something like this image right here, it's scaring the fuck out of people. Right here.
Well, that's the Baphomet again, because remember, Baphomet has children by him in his image, but it's basically saying if you do your spiritual work, you tap back into your childlike spirit, childlike essence. And that's where the freedom reigns supreme. The freedom is in your dome, your head, your Godhead. So you'll become free from judgment. You'll become free from the opinions of others, from your own self killings, if you will. If you do the work, if you face your fears, you feel me? That's the same thing with that movie. What's the movie I just put you? Substance. You seen that movie?
Yeah. I'll actually bring that up. Go ahead and speak on it.
Yeah, that Substance is the same thing. Remember that movie? Because essentially Substance is like, it's the same idea or same concept of you running from getting older. You feel me? It's like people are running from themselves. So they want to stay in the glamour. The glamour is so heavy. Instead of embracing your growth and who you are divinely, you know what I'm saying, at that particular age. So that's when you see her become a monster and hideous looking and all of that. You remember that show? What was that? Did you see Smile, Oni?
I did. I didn't finish it, but I did cover it because a lot of other people watched it on Patreon. So we covered it and we talked about it.
Yeah, because that Smile is the same thing as the Substance. It's the same exact thing that happened in Smile 2, especially because they at the end they were on a stage. It was a monster on the stage, and basically that stage is just an aspect of your shadow work.
Right.
So in a stage is just a representation of you bearing it all. So you bearing it all is you being able to show yourself completely nude on stage, if that makes sense symbolically. So there's a good meditation that y'all could do for your shadow work. I want you to see yourself on stage with your friends and family members out in the crowd.
Mm.
And when you see your friends and family members and loved ones out in the crowd, they're looking at you and you're completely naked.
Mm.
So you got your thing hanging, you got your ass out, everything, and you got to put a mirror behind you because that mirror is showing your backside too. Because some people don't like their backside. So then all you're doing is expressing who you are divinely, expressing your worries, your fears, your the things you don't like about yourself, the things you might feel insecure about. And that's actually helping you release and free yourself from the human or the automaton nature of being this person that has to get along to be along.
Right. That's a crazy exercise. I'm gonna have to try that, brother.
Hey, being a spiritual worker it gets ugly.
It does.
You got to be willing to be ugly. You got to be willing to bear it all and be like, damn, who is this? Why is this person so brash?
Right.
Why is he so alive? Why is he living? See, a lot of people are just here and then they die. But the real game is to be here, live, and then transform into the death realm. But if you're not living, then you're basically just a sheep in this thing. You feel me?
Right. And you become loose to the system. You become automaton. You're living out the system because people be getting into the one thing I know is with the zodiac or astrology type thing. A lot of people, even in the spiritual community, we get this thing where once we have a certain level of understanding with the astrology, we start to use prints of how we look at people through the astrology, and we say, oh, well, you have this problem because strictly this. And that's when it's a conformity in the archons game, the demiurge game, where you start using the astrology for the reasons why you lack thereof, or vice versa. I had a couple of instances with that, talking to a couple of people, and I'm like, okay, I understand that's part of my human nature, but I'm beyond this human shit. Matter of fact, I don't even look at myself as a human. I'm a child of chaos. I'm pure chaos. I'm not even human. This is just this bypassing larva of whatever, but I'm spiritually, I'm something totally different. So we can understand the astrology, we can understand the occult and all of these aspects, but we can never trap ourselves in the sense of looking at ourselves as human, because then you become a part of the whole fucking program of why we're here in the first place.
Yeah, that's good. Only that's powerful because chaos is just it's before creation. It's before the gods. So now if we are saying we're chaos beings before this Germanic word of gods, even the gods are personifications of personalities or energy signatures that's keeping you tied into the human in specific ways. So now we just have to understand that to the core. Yeah, there is some spiritual light in in the gods, but just like Bobby said in his last interview with Aleem, remember that? He said, man, fuck the gods.
He did say that
shit. Said, oh shit, Bobby, man. He said, man, fuck them guys. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't trying. I said, damn, Bobby, all right, man. So then you have to look at the gods with a side eye because they can come through in an energy signature, keeping you trapped in a specific personality swing just based off of you being, in this human vessel.
And they it's kind of like what happens in it's kind of like what happened in the Matrix with the agents. Remember the agents, they can just take over somebody's body, and they can come in and morph into the body. I got this picture from Sanchez when he was talking about like the AI agenda with it. But the Matrix movie is a Gnostic movie first, because we are in this hologram, we are in the Matrix, we're dealing with all of this. But notice how all of the melanated people was up on the ground, dream-wise, in a place called Zion. And Morpheus, who's the god of dreams in Greek mythology, he's the leader of this great nation of melanated people, and what's attacking them. These things that look like parasites, but they're mechanical. They're called sentinels. You know, and they could be. I told everybody on Patreon that's probably what the nanobots look like in your body from taking that jab. They probably look like a sentinel from the goddamn Matrix. At its smallest state, it looks like that because that's what a parasite looks like.
Well, yeah, no, that nanotechnology is heavy in our bodies now, and that nano is making us operate as robots and not have a mind at all, if you will. So then it's in our food, it's in our water. There's really nothing you can do about it except for being in a real thought-based vibration where you are thinking freedom thoughts. You feel me? Because a lot of people are trying to like Yaki, he's trying to clear all of that shit out. But shit, they might even have it in the air right now. You feel me? So it's not like you're gonna just be now. Fasting is a good way to really understand how to get back to yourself. Like when I did my 40-day fast, straight water, I realized how powerful we really are just based off of how much I can feel and hear from the spirit world. You feel me? And just in general, I can hear people's minds and shit. That shit was trippy on it. I tell you, I was like, nah. You don't want to be up that high. You don't want to, that shit not on earth anyway. You just like, nah, let me bring my ass back down here, boy.
Right.
Because it's a lot of energy. You can start seeing dead people and shit. And if you don't have the capacity to be in that kind of space, you know what I'm saying, all the time, you can kind of lose your mind in a sense. And that's not cute. So, you know, but fasting is a good, and this ain't no medical advice. I'm not a doctor or whatever, right?
Right.
Fasting does help you clean out. So then you can actually start to sense who you are divinely. Yeah. Yeah, I love the fast. But you know, I don't do, because I did a 30-day fast once with straight green smoothies. I did a 40-day fast, straight water, do 10-day fast, and you can just feel how fast you are. You basically moving fast. You feel me? It's like being what's that movie called? Limitless. Basically that's what it is. It's a magic pill. It's like, wow, okay. I'm hearing and seeing things so quickly. And then I don't have no fears and trepidations about me going out to hunt or whatever. You feel me? I'm just acting. I'm just actually moving. You feel me? And that's an important thing. The lack of motion is causing a lot of people to not live.
Wow.
They're just stuck on the couch, like, because you know, is motion, energy, emotions. That's your chakra system. So what's happening is people are having this lack of motion based off of their chakras are not balanced. And then in their chakras not balanced, they don't have the gumption to get up and do that specific activity that they needed to do to make the manifestation come into effect.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like when I fasted, I felt amazing, man. Like I chronicalized it. We did the chronology of when I started on Patreon, and you know, I did my progression of how I was feeling, how my spiritual activities was intensified even better. It's like what you said, it activates like the antenna. It's like a inner antenna, the signaling booth. And you could pick up stuff, like you said, you could pick up things that you don't want to pick up. Yeah. I did that when I candled out my ears for the first time. This was back in like 2017, dream-wise. Well, I said I should never did that shit because I started hearing the frequency weapons. Man, let me tell you, it was like a loud thing. I couldn't even go to sleep, bro. Like literally, I stayed up for 2 days. I said, man, let that wax build back up. I should have never did that, bro. Yeah, but you can
Yeah.
hear the spirit realm. You can with the fasting, you can bring yourself in, because a lot of people, they're not in their spiritual universe. They're not a part of their spiritual universe. Their spiritual universe is vacant of them. So you have to be active and to make yourself present in the spiritual universe. And I think that's a great activation. I just seen somebody in the chat say, I want to fast, but I'm feeding a household. I see. I don't know if you're saying that as a joke, but that has absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, you could feed a household. That don't got nothing to do with you eating.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You know, then just try it. Well, what I tell people is try it. It's a hard task to change up your patterns. Spirituality is about changing your patterns. Patterns, once you start to move your patterns and do things that will eliminate things that no longer serves you, you will realize a whole shift into your perspective about reality. And that's what I told you, what we were talking about before the video began. If you can't change your perspective, what's the point of being fucking spiritual?
Yeah. Because that's right, only you right on point with that, because it is about recognizing patterns. That's what spirituality is. It's just about recognizing patterns. And when you discipline yourself or have the courage that, hey, Rue, to challenge specific habits or patterns that you keep on moving into that's not serving you, then that's when you start to have a aha moment where you're like, oh, okay, I see what I need to do. I need to adjust this behavior because my body is addicted to weed, or my body is addicted to alcohol, and that's not actually serving me. So people don't want to let go of them worldly pleasures, and they don't actually know that their body is actually running the show.
Exactly.
Instead of the chaos running the show, the childlike spirit running the show, their body is running the show because that's keeping them in a sedative state. That's the whole point of what the powers that be want you to do. They want you to be comfortable and not move, because they know if you do activate that melanin, you'll take over this world.
Yeah. They're studying, man. There was a report came out. They said like melanin, they're using melanin to make computer chips now. It was a scientist. I showed the clip a couple of videos ago, but they were like, yeah, the melanin, they figured out it's one of the best sources that they can use to power computer chips. So we're going into quantum computer chips like the Willow chip. They just figured out the Willow chip, and they figured out a new one. What was the new one called, guys? Y'all put it in the chat. I think Microsoft just made the first, it's like the smallest nano chip ever, or something like that. But the point is, all of that is nothing but the physical rendition of what the melanin does in the spiritual realm. I'm not saying the melanin is artificial intelligence. It is the divine intelligence of the spiritual realm is what melanin is esoterically to this to the multiverse, I believe. And I think what all of what we're dealing with, the pollution of the skies, the food we talked about earlier, having to fast to get reactivated into what you need to be doing and bring you to a high vibration. Elon, Trump, in this golden Saturnian age they're bringing in, they're creating a techno fetishism with machinations and AI. What do you feel about that, Dreamwise? I know we look at things as a master student. Everything has a polarity. Everything is a polarity. You know, there's good and bad. So just speak on how you feel about it.
Well, you know, that dark energy, well, on the melanin aspect, if you will, that dark energy is the permeating energy of the universe. And you know, that super, you know, they got the super conscious, the subconscious, and then your conscious mind. So that super conscious is just basically you pulling from the ethers. And that's the melanin. You have the ability as a universal being, as a nine ether being inside of you, to bring forth a specific creation down here in this particular third dimension. So a lot of times, did you seen the show Pop the Balloon?
Hey, I honestly, I have to watch every episode now. I don't know what it is. I
don't know if the goddess got that from like somebody else or whatever, but let's just imagine she pulled it from the ethers. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff, that creative genius to create a show that's getting millions of views, and she's probably making millions of dollars now.
She is.
To create a relationship show dynamic that is fun, is kind of creative, and it stimulates people's minds, is us pulling from that super conscious, which is dark energy, which is the melanin. You feel me? So it's the same thing with, and the way you tap into that melanin is one, light, and then two, sound. So that sound is you resonating from a specific pitch and frequency vibration of using your voice, and then light is just basically you putting the imagination at play. So then that is because you remember back in the day how we got our pineal gland pumping, which is the secretion of melanin. They used to use their tongues or their to click that pineal gland. Yeah. So then that's them using one sound, but then also using a kind of tonality to turn on or activate something in their pineal to stimulate a certain creative process they want to see come forth in this third dimension. So, I mean, we are Superman. We're the X-Men, right? We have all this potential in us. And Elon is just basically, I guess he's just basically like because, you know, he is really interesting. I don't know how he came out of nowhere to me for some weird reason. And he created specific things. And I think it's a beautiful thing that's happening with him and Trump, because now this time that's happening is a waking up of the ages. And it's not about like what they're doing or if they're trying to rule the world or trick people. It's about the energy that they exude.
Right.
So spiritual messages come in these personalities and these people, right? And and as spiritual beings, we want to understand the energy or the time of the day. You feel me? Like, okay, they're really cutthroat. They're really, you know, brash and assertive, aggressive. So then if spirit is showing you these people as your leaders, then you want to be able to follow suit in that kind of specific idea of yourself.
That's right. That's right. And you need a polarity. Like, people want things to be all peachy. I mean, if you're with the demagogues, Democrats or Republicans, they create that dichotomy of the polarity of what's good and what's bad, but none of it is really neutral. I mean, there's things happening even on that side that ain't cool. You know, so you need a reverse in polarity, the inversion of the energy, the masculine, the feminine, and Trump and Elon is bringing something that we need to see inside of ourselves, because all of this is a projection, right? The hologram is projection of what's moving and changing in the spiritual plane. And yeah, so I saw Leah say in the chat, she was talking about how Tesla used to pull thoughts from the ether, and he was getting into the 369 science about pulling things from the ether. You know, that's naturally what we're doing with melanin. And Elon Musk chose to name his company after Tesla, or he kind of colonized that.
Yeah.
Now, funny, because technically Elon Musk is an African American. Technically, but you know, we you know, there's a whole other thing going on with that right now.
Well, you know, Bobby and Panic, they got into a space later on in their careers, in their journey. It was like, hey, look, who's to say you can't come back as a white man?
I remember that. Because I do believe that karma in Vedic astrology, it's not limited just to race. It's the star fields can put you. It can put you in a lot of different life conscious fields, not just as a black man or woman, or coming into blackness. So I do believe that's you can't say it's not possible if you're spiritual.
Right. So they can be like basically agents for us to bring forth, to destroy an outdated system and bring in this Aquarius age of information, so we can start moving into our specific genius level of creativity and abundance and wealth. So it's a beautiful time, man. We just got to really pay attention to the signs and not take their personalities personal. You know what I'm saying? I think Black people have a problem with people being, whatever, boisterous or telling the truth. You feel me? They want there's some Black people that they want them to lie to them and shit.
Yeah, they do.
I want my racists to tell me straight up they racist. You feel me? So we can actually move into the space of saying, all right, well, we know where we're at. So what's going down? What you trying to do? You feel me? And a lot of times it's a travesty to have melanated people getting played with their emotions on such a level of insecurity, jealousy, comparison syndrome. You got to be able to really step outside the game and not play the game. If this is a game, you want to just observe the game and not absorb it.
Big note right there, everyone. Write that down.
Yeah, because if you absorb the game, then that means you're part of the whole mechanism of how they want you to move. If you observe it, step back and just observe it, then you can actually be in your God consciousness mind level, which takes you beyond the human and puts you in the bird's eye view, which is basically Heru.
That's right.
So you're seeing beyond the veil of this existence, and you're moving into a space of like spiritual gnosis that takes you out of here. You don't have no emotional bearings about none of it. You're not on a team. See, when you actually believe that you're on a team because of the color of your skin, that's what they want you to believe.
That's right.
They want you to be caught up on this. Oh yeah, y'all are Black, y'all are white. Yeah. So then you create this identity based off of stereotypes, which we know is just a ritual.
Absolutely.
So they'll keep on giving you the ritualistic plays of some ignorant shit against Black people because they need a subservient group of people to be slow, dumb, and blind.
Yep.
That's why I say don't call yourself Black. You got to take yourself out of that word Black, because Black just means lack. If you take off the B, it says lack. So that means you're lacking your true self.
I feel like the prototype of what this thing is, the reason why we speak so much in what Bobby and Panic and them spoke about, Blackness pertaining to melanin and carbon. The identity of Blackness came from another guy named Blumenbach. He kind of created that dichotomy of white, Black, Mongolian, Asian, and all of that type stuff. Y'all can look him up, named Blumenbach. We can change the definition of words. The English language was programmed by those folk. Who knows who the fuck put the shit? I mean, I got some ideals, but who just knows? Who cares? So we know that there's spells. You hear the conscious people with the big quotes. These are spells. When you spell a word, you're casting a spell. You hear that damn shit cliche now in the spiritual community. We were saying that shit damn 10 years ago. Probably them 20 years ago, 30 years ago. C. Freeman L.
Yeah.
So Okay, that's true. Now we figured and cracked that code. Can language, is there a neuro-linguistic programming? Can black mean something different past the spell that it was intended to be?
Yep.
That's what alchemy is for. And that's what I think spiritual people, what we need to be doing the due diligence of, instead of talking about how they intended the word to be.
Right. Right. No, that's good, only because, yeah, essentially the word black can be changed. Any word can be changed based off of thought alone. It's just the unconscious collective has a grip, or the powers that be, let's say, that has a grip on, or has the TV. So whatever they push in the minds of the masses to go along with, then the unconscious collective picks up that cloud, and now all of a sudden we're ran off of that thought form. So then if you identify with a particular stereotype, because it's not about the word, it's just about identifying with the stereotype of what they're trying to show and portray. Like, I got dreads, and I'm a big guy, so some people might perceive me to be scary when I walk up or whatever. You feel me? So naturally, now a white lady clutching her purse when she see me is a subconscious thing in her mind to say, "Oh no, I can't." But then you just seen them two YNs that just, like, look at that. They put the word YN as young black basically niggas, right? That will shoot this thing up. You don't see no YNs being a Caucasian boy or whatever. You feel me? They create, because we are the standard of culture, they created a whole egregor spirit in the YN name to establish these new chaos beings as rambunctious, disorderly, when they are actually in a space of this Christ consciousness way of thinking, which is the freedom zone. But again, they might be just too overstimulated in the root chakra.
It's interesting. Speaking of YNs, the two brothers, or the two guys, can't call them brothers now. if it was them that shot the 5-year-old girl and the rapper Get Money, Lil Ronnie, I think out in Texas, I believe.
Yeah, Fort Worth. Yep.
Okay. I just just noticed, like, the culture, the YN culture. Is it synonymous just with black culture? Because we see, I look at it as MK Ultra programming, because all the times when you have mass shootings, it's always a young white male. So if you want to talk about who's the bigger killers, it's not even comparable. But look at the image, look at the guy. He has a tattoo on his face. He has locks. So it's like the energy they carry, and when they kill someone, is much greater. Of course, this is horrible. 5-year-old girl. If you know anything, which I know you know, Dreamwise, in the streets, when you kill a child or a woman, you make the whole block hot. Nobody can make money that week. The prostitute walking, anybody a part of the underworld, they can't make that. They can't make no. The streets is hot. The police is snooping everywhere to figure out what even more information. So these are, if they did do that, which I don't know, they'll have their day in court. That was so damn stupid. But if it was MK Ultra, who knows? Because I did notice the guy's birthday is the same number for Skull and Bones. I'm big in gematria and numerology. I noticed he had a 322 birthday, and this guy name is Russell. The person who started the Skull and Bones, last name is Russell. So I just noticed stuff like that. But if it's true, then yeah, these guys are the worst of the worst. And the YN culture is becoming more mainstream now as an egregore.
Right. Right. Yeah. They literally just drop the guns off in the hood and just say, "Hey, have at it." You know what I'm saying? So naturally, you know what I'm saying, like with the games, with the Call of Duty and all of that stuff, and the Fortnite, right?
Fortnite, yeah.
All of them all of them different games that they've been playing since they were a kid and been programming themselves. Like the games itself say killing, or well, no, they're saying elimination now, but still just the subconscious simulation of doing that. Then essentially, as a god, as a young black god, right, a chaos being,
Mm-hmm.
you can naturally manifest a gun based off of thought alone. Man, I want one. And then you put the guns in the hands of these youngsters, and they really think they're out here playing Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. So now it's just their spirit has been invoked with uh hey, this whole game, if you will, this whole like the Squid Games, like we're going to talk about, that whole idea of it
Mm-hmm.
is just kill or be killed. This is hunting season, you know what I'm saying, and they're spiritually in a space of a trance. It's like a trance like state these kids are in because they can't see nothing past um being so root chakra heavy. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge spell, and I think the one thing that I do know that the powers that be that know is that the frontal lobe doesn't develop until 27, 28, especially in our young black males. So now, if you can get these young kids as young as possible to start playing this game with the guns, they don't give a, they out here. You feel me? They don't care what's happening. They thinking it's a game. They feel like they're playing the video
Yeah,
game.
video game. It's they call it what is the video? What is it? RPG Ultra. Like you have MK
Right.
Ultra, RPG
Yeah.
Ultra. And yeah, I'll piggyback off what you were saying earlier. I think that with these kids, starting at a young age, I use a term called moonchild. Alistair Crowley wrote a book on that, the moonchild, and how to create a moonchild is how they can implement a person to be a part of the egregore. Their whole life becomes a part of the magical formula of the ritual. And I think they're creating moon children out of our people. And also, other races as well. But, I'm just highlighting because that's what we're talking about, that a lot of these people are moon children to a ritual working that these other magical societies will speak about, of how the egregore has to work. It has to have fundamental pieces of the formula, and the formula is exercised through what the person is doing for the ritual. That's what's occurring right now with this whole YN and shoot, with the women got the BBLs, BBL Drizzy,
Yep.
and all this other stuff. We're literally a part of this big egregore network, and we don't even understand that we're moon children. We're doing it for them. We're they don't have to. They put us on self-automated destruction, through the moon children. So I know we're going to talk about celebrities right now because we're in hyperlucidity, everyone. I know, like, the symbol of Roy Ayers, I'm sorry, represents something magically powerful as an archetype, because I do talk on celebrities a whole lot, and I do think that there is some type of magical experiment happening. It's uncanny how many celebrities die every week. If I knew someone, let's just mathematically, everyone, let's say if I'm a conspiracy theorist, what do they call them? A conspiracy theorist. If you knew someone, like, let's say you know someone in your family, say you knew 10 people in your family. If within 3 years, 8 of those people died because you know their name, you know who they are, you know their face.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think something weird is going on. It's like everybody's like, oh yeah, you just die. You know, people die every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every week we have a big death, and the deaths be connected to another person. It's very, very strange.
Mm.
Very, very strange. You was highlighting something. I want you to go into this. Um, you were highlighting Roy Ayers, Angie Stone, because Angie Stone is from here where I'm from in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh,
So
nice. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we were talking a whole lot about her over the last couple of weeks. But you were saying that both of their songs is connected to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
They're more popular songs. What is
Yeah.
the archetype and the divine masculine, divine feminine behind Roy Ayers, Angie Stone, or celebrities? Can you talk about what they can represent on the end of how we can look at it esoterically instead of
Yeah.
the other stuff?
Yeah. I've been trying to get Roy Ayers to come through since he transitioned.
Mm.
Like I've been listening to him every night. I just been taking myself to sleep, and at 9 o'clock, like clockwork, I just play that Ubiquity album on
Mm.
shuffle, and I just sit there and let it seep into my subconscious, and then I see myself walking down the stairs so I can actually meet him. So I'm just doing that over and over and over again because he is really a spiritual guide. If you really look at his songs and the messages he's bringing, it's like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So with him having that every day, like the sunshine, that sunshine song, the third eye song, you know what I'm saying? He's somebody that we want to talk to understand his level of uh, uh, wisdom that he can bestow upon us. And yeah, I just been seeing it. It's one of those things where you see Angie Stone with her "My Sunshine Has
Mm-hmm.
Come," and then
Mm-hmm.
Roy Ayers, "Everybody Loves the
Yeah, the
Sunshine." And then,
sunshine.
what's the guy's name that just transitioned
Tony,
from Tony
Tony.
Tony?
Who was it? What's his name, guys? What was his name? I got it up here. I'm gonna pull him up in a second, but we'll continue.
Yeah, him. His name. He remember he got that song. Tony got that song. It never rains in Southern California.
Oh, that's his
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. So now the sunshine is
Oh,
shining bright, baby. What? Look at Roy
oh,
Ayers with the yellow on. You feel me? It never rains
right.
in. So that means that's just representative of the sun. The sun.
Dwayne Higgins.
SONSUN. The
Dwayne
sun.
Higgins.
Yeah, Dwayne Wiggins. There you go. Right. So this sun and these all three being neo soul kind of people, right? We got to look at it from an aspect of, oh, the spirit world is communicating to us, saying, yes, the sun is about to return in this spring equinox season, right? And then when
Right.
summer comes, we really going to be shining, but it's your time to shine bright. And when I say bright, I mean real bright. Because at the same time, at the end of the day, if you're not shining, right,
Yeah.
then you're in a space of constant darkness, if you will, right? And
Mhm.
and we've been seeing it through the celebrities and stuff, right? Boys is trying to shine on boys, like LeBron pulling that move on Stephen A. Smith.
Oh yeah.
I said, "Oh, that's our guy." I said, "See, you ain't never seen LeBron act that assertive and aggressive, right?"
No.
I knew that was a spiritual sign. I said, "Up there it go again." Charles Barkley pulling the same move on Kendrick Perkins. Boys is trying to pull people's collars. You feel me? Like it's time for you to stand on your shit and really be about your business.
Well, with the
So it's
LeBron thing, he's also connect what you were saying. It was about his son. Once again, it's about the
yeah,
son.
about his son. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so
Mhm.
and then we know the son as Jesus, or really just
Yeah.
the Christ consciousness thinking. So then we got to really look at this stuff and understand that spirits sometimes all the time communicates to us in symbols in these people, places, celebrities. So then, a big aspect that's going to happen for the family to understand their sunshine is to start sun gazing.
Right.
So sun gazing is going to be very important during this specific time. You're going to want to sun gaze early sunrise or sunset, and you want to do
Mm.
that because it's going to stimulate what? The pineal gland, which is going to stimulate the melanin, which is going to put y'all boys in motion. So it's motion time. You know what I'm saying? It's time to move, because the manifestation is not going to come with you sitting on your couch.
Right.
That's still just prayer. When people do that, all that stuff, and they believe like, they visualize, that's prayer. You're just praying, and you don't want to be preyed upon on a illusionary energy. You feel me? So you got to understand that the aspect of Heru, or the sun, right, or this Christ consciousness, is about motion, movement, shining bright. You feel me? Your solar plexus should be off the chain. Your wheels should be in a different level of godhood. You should be shining and showing your specific genius. You feel me? Whatever that might be, whether it be you creating things with your hands, whether it be you expressing yourself clearly with ease with your throat chakra, whether it be you taking on a specific job. It's just time for us to understand that, hey, this is your time to shine, and you need to be able to shine bright. These people didn't die in vain, and the people that know and can see these symbols is going to take advantage of the energy.
That's powerful, man. That's so powerful, and I really resonate with that, because when you were saying earlier, most of religious people, when they be praying, they don't do nothing active behind their prayer. I used to remember now. Listen, like sometimes your prayer says you don't understand God forms, and you don't understand archetypes. You don't know nothing about alchemy and spirituality when you were in your religious state of mind before you got the other parts of it. Sometimes you can move something, and something can happen just by you sitting down, and you can do it. So every now and then, a dead clock is right, twice a day, they say. But when you actually in the field, when you putting in that work, when you're living magically, as I always tell people, when you actually living this shit, prayer can work on a multiverse level. It's not, I mean, not prayer, but I'm saying like you're manifesting. When you're manifesting, it works on a multiverse layer in reality. It can happen in so many different ways. Instead of prayer is more like a desire. It is a root chakra base. I want God to give me this.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's perfect, because prayer is just a bastardized version of meditation.
Damn.
So then what you want to do is understand that if you could put in your visual cortex the image of who you're claiming to be, because you got to see this stuff as you now, then that's the real form of what we call prayer, or creative visualization. So prayer is this outside entity that you think you're talking to is an illusion. You're really just talking to yourself. So they tricked you into believing to talk to something outside of you, when you're really just supposed to be talking to yourself.
Right.
So I'm gonna give y'all the quick way to manifest, the real way to manifest. The real way to manifest is from visualization, creative visualization, which is your imagination, which is your meditation, and sound, which is speaking with your voice. Because them two elements creates the vehicle for you to be expressive in this specific world, which is the third dimension, which is you speaking things into existence. You feel me? In the way of form, creating a form through your speech. You feel me? Because now all of a sudden, if you can speak, see, we take advantage of our throat shot. We take a lot of how would you say, we don't really take our throat chakra or our voice to the ultimate advantage that we need to.
Right.
You gotta speak that shit, man. You gotta, because if you can hear it out loud, then you can start to walk in that specific vehicle or that specific identity that you're claiming to be.
That's
It just
right.
it takes people courage to talk to themselves in the mirror. You feel me? And
Yeah.
really tell yourself who you're claiming to be. It takes courage to sit there and speak to yourself in your meditations, or do the seed sounds in your meditations to heal them particular root chakras or chakras.
Yep. Yep.
Lum,
Or bum.
yeah,
Or
all the
lum.
different chakras. So
Rum.
that means you're creating sound and you're visualizing the light spiraling around that specific chakra. That's going to heal it and balance it out, and then keeps you in what? Energy and motion and motion.
Yep. And being active, because real when you really get to that spiritual statehood, I would call it dream wise, you do talk to yourself. I be talking to myself a lot. I mean, I make sure
Yeah.
ain't nobody around, but I will talk to myself, and I'm constantly talking to myself, because it's like you're talking to God. I'm not saying that I'm looking at it as a perverted way of me looking at God, but that, like you said, expressing how the potentiality of the throat chakra,
Mm-hmm.
um, uttering certain ancient syllables, the activation syllables, what
Mm-hmm.
you call it, seed vowels.
Yep. The seed
Those are
sounds. Yep.
right. Those are very powerful, especially the O and the Ahs. The O and the
Mm-hmm.
Ahs we taught in class
Mm-hmm.
like a couple years ago. Those are very important. But the quintessential thing about it is utilizing the sound. You were
Mm-hmm.
talking about exercises with light and sound. I told everyone on Patreon to get the 528 frequency hertz
Mm-hmm.
tuning fork.
Mm-hmm.
Now, funny
Yeah.
thing, you were speaking about your 1-year-old taking things out
Mm-hmm.
off your altar in your magical room, or your altar room. My
Mm-hmm.
son is always taking my tuning fork and thinking it's a toy. He be
Mm-hmm.
using the tuning fork, he be putting it on the back of the fire truck. And I said, son, that's my tuning fork. You can't put that
Yeah.
on the back of the fire truck.
Yeah.
But when you tap that tuning fork, everyone, and then you do your seed syllables, then you
Mm-hmm.
go into your meditation, the resonance from that 528, because water vibrates at 528 frequency too, in green, mainly
Mm-hmm.
green in the heart chakra. Um, you potentiate your DNA and the light codes in it further by
Mm-hmm.
utilizing different exercises, and that's what the chaos is about. You can't be in one stationary thing like religion and say, "Oh, you just ask
Mm-hmm.
God a desire from the root chakra. God, can you please give me this?
Yeah.
Whatever." I remember on the last day of college, I asked God. This is before I was spiritual, guys. I said, "God, please let me graduate, because I know I ain't doing what the fuck I was supposed to do." If I got, hey, God did it, or whatever did it, because I did
Uh-huh.
walk that damn stage.
Yeah.
But the point is, the chaos is going to put you, more into higher vibration, and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
multiversal. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's good, only because we are water. What is it? We 75% water, right?
we are.
So then that means you're just talking to your water, Dr. Emoto.
Yup, Himoto. Yup, yup.
So now when you talk to your water, what happens? It crystallizes.
Mm.
And then that crystallization creates you to be more attractive,
Mm-hmm.
because your aura will just resonate a specific sense of God or light that permeates your being. So now all of a sudden you attract situationships to yourself. You feel me? And opportunities to yourself, people to yourself, just based off of you being a crystalline light. Or you'll start having more motion to
Mm-hmm.
move into particular arenas to where you will do the opportunity. I went into a Muay Thai class the other day, and it
Muay
was my
Thai. Okay.
Patreon family. They was telling me, they kept on saying Muay Thai. Dream, you need to do Muay Thai. And I said, yeah, I was telling them I seen one by my house. So, yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna get to it. They said it again. And sure enough, my spirit said, "Up, get up and move." So I drove my ass there, got the information and shit. Now now I'm gonna do Muay Thai. I was kind of intimidated because them niggas was I'm 6'4", you feel me? But these is 5'10" Asians and shit in that hole. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, damn, and they swole, they cut up. You feel me, Oni? I'm like, shit. Damn. I said, what did I get myself into? But my water has been moving into a space of more health, more breathing, because I've been doing a lot of breath work, heavy breath work, because breath is the spirit.
Yep.
So stretching and all of that, but then I'm just trying to even get into my Bruce Lee bag even more. You feel me? Man, I walk in there, it's 2 Asian dudes cut up, 2 black dudes cut up, and then a white dude cut up. Nigga, I felt intimidated to the bitch. But you know what I said? I said, well, fuck it, at least I came to this hole. But the dude reassured me, Ray, he reassured me. He was like, nah, you can, there's a beginner level, don't worry about it. You just come in, everybody's gonna be cool. I'm like, all right, now hey, they looking up to me. I'm kind of looking up to them like, nigga, hey, I want y'all to be, because they in there strong, tough, heavy, sweating and shit. I'm like, it's going down. But I want to do it because I know that's another level of peace and understanding that I can gain in my spiritual bag.
No, that's excellent way to looking at it.
So sound and you speaking to your water is just speaking to yourself. So when you talk to yourself, you're basically speaking to yourself, or you speaking to your water. And we know about the waters of noon and how that kind of moves you into a different level of God. One good way to start speaking to yourself is to sing. Like I sing in my shower, I sing in my car. You feel me? You got to sing all that Earth, Wind, and Fire stuff. Sing all that Roy Ayers. So you sing out loud. You got to hear it out loud. You got to really express that stuff. Y'all go to my channel. I'm singing on that bitch every chance I get. I start off singing. You feel me? Because I understand that I have to break something up in my throat chakra. Another great way is to get down and get that neck moving. You feel me? With your female, eating that thing. You feel me? Really getting into that head game, getting your head right. Hey, I'm telling you, that's gonna get it done. What? I be eating my wife, and it be going. My shit be gone. I'll be like, oh shit. I'll be opening up my throat chakra. I'll become more expressive because her colleagues is coming down to my throat. I'm just yodeling in that bitch. My tongue is getting there. Hey, I'm just telling y'all the science. I got the books if y'all want me to prove it. That head game is a motherfucker. What? Okay, hold on. Watch me find the book on it. Y'all think I'm playing?
Get the book. Because that's very critical. They talk about collars all the time. Kendall Graham talk about
ecstasy through Tantra. You gotta eat that thing.
Yeah. That's the one I always reference. I love that book.
Yeah, what it said in it? It said they show you in the book that you gotta eat that thing to stimulate your throat chakra, to activate that collie. Look, they showing you right here. Real getting that nasty stuff. You feel me? She giving you that head game. They call it it says pleasure and comfort comes from suckling the breast to relieve the tension of hunger. That's a baby. So look, here it go right here. Remember, it says the importance of oral sex in adulthood is not mysterious, considering that the infant's first experience of pleasure and comfort comes from suckling the breast to relieve the tension of hunger. Okay, so we got that. A baby is going straight to the breast to relieve that egoic state, that primal ego of hunger, right? Thereafter, the mouth is a source of comfort. So the weaned child sucks his thumb when nervous, and during the first years of school, instinctively chews on the end of a pencil when anxiously concentrating. The earlier adolescent seeks oral gratification with gum and quickly graduates to cigarettes, pipes, and cigars as an adult. So that means you've already been moving into a space of stimulating comfort from your throat chakra, from your mouth region. So now you got to figure out how to talk more. A lot of people don't talk as much because they're not expressing themselves as much. It says Tantra and sex magic recognizes fellatio and cunnilingus as a yoga integrating consciousness by joining polar opposites. That which is above affixes to which is below. So that's when you get to 69. You feel me, on it? You getting it up.
Yeah.
I be having D-Ray on the wall like this, trying to pick her up. You know, I'm getting in the gym because of that. Like that.
Right.
Chaos. You feel me? It says, look, watch this. Look at this. It says, Vajra Mudra, fellatio, and cunnilingus redirect psychic forces so that a brainchild, an idea or concept is magically conceived.
Wow.
A brainchild. What is that? So a brainchild is, see, your throat chakra is about you creating, right? So your throat chakra is connected to your hands, your ears, and your mouth. So when you speak things clearly with ease, right, that's you, or speaking things into existence, that's you actually expressing your truth in this world. So it says a brainchild, which is you giving head, fellatio, right? An idea or concept is magically conceived. So that means you're stimulating your throat chakra with the yoni, which is a portal and a gateway that's going to magically make you speak things into existence.
Wow.
Look, it says such a brainchild is immortal, outliving any mere physical finite span of existence that could be achieved through physical birth. I'm just telling y'all what it is. You feel me? So y'all better get with that yodeling and get your head game right.
So the yodeling.
Yodelay. I did a whole video on it some years ago. It was important too because you know, all of this stuff is based off of sex, or you know, the yin and yang or masculine and feminine energies. So if we start to understand that to the core, then we can start to move that up from the penis, vagina to the pineal pituitary.
Right. And that's a big proponent. I haven't gotten as deep into the sexual alchemy as I used to, but I know that that is the key.
Yeah,
to
it's all of that.
of this, because it's like maturity, really. You know, like a lot of people ain't. It's like
Yeah,
what you
they
were saying earlier.
bastardized. They made it with religion. You know, it's kind of like a religion put it as a taboo thing, right?
Right.
And our main objective down here is to create. We came down here to create. And in creation, it's not only just creating a child, which is a physical, low level, third dimensional thing, but it's also creating an idea, which is the pineal pituitary hypothalamus gland. You feel me? So when you create that idea, that's actually another form of creation, which is what they're calling a brainchild in the book. But you got to stimulate that sexual organ in the mind, the pineal pituitary hypothalamus gland. Yeah, because those glands essentially secrete they secrete this concoction to your other glands, which is your chakras.
Yeah.
So then when they secrete when you see this mind picture in your mind's eye and it secretes to your chakras, essentially it puts you into motion. You feel me? And the motion is the manifestation.
And it's chrism oil that comes from those glands, and that's a part of what the Christ or Christos it plays. You know, because in Kemet they call it cress. The cress is the same thing, and yeah, it definitely a man achieving orgasm, because we don't really. I was listening to some guy on YouTube. I forgot his name, but he was breaking down like, yeah, men orgasm is like non-sustainable to women. I was like, yo, that's not an orgasm. That's not the same thing. We're ejaculating. You know, we don't have an orgasm. We have to learn how to get an orgasm. And, you know, the book goes into that XC Tantra book that Dreamwise has. It teaches you how to send your sperm back up, right? Back up the coccyx and activate, have an orgasm activated, a serial orgasm.
Yeah, that's important to move that sexual energy up, and with the semen retention and cultivating that energy as men, because you know our testosterone is important as men, right? We need our testosterone because it's basically testing us in this life for things of us hunting and exploring and being people that is about their purpose driven. So life is just a big test, and if for fellas, we need testosterone to stimulate a certain level of motion down here.
Right. That's
So
absolutely good.
without that testosterone, we're just kind of like becoming beta men and shit. And there's no aggression there. So that's good, only that you're going to the gym working out. You feel me? Because again, that's going to stimulate more testosterone and keep you in a more pleasure driven state, which
It
is good.
is.
Purposeful driven state too.
Yeah, the females I have been with, they like, we need to get you out that gym. You was already a monster before. Now you're gonna be on some Cthulhu. I'm gonna turn into a great old one now.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, I'm trying to find my significant half. So better be prepared.
That's an important thing. You know, they got men out here that's not having no sex at all. They like not even trying to go out here and hunt, which is
Midtown. They call it Midtown. Men going their own way.
What they call? Oh, that's what they're calling it now. I thought they were calling it cell boys or something like that.
Oh, they got another one.
Incels.
Oh, incel. Yeah, incels. Yeah.
That's you know, and that's the purpose of, you know, being a man, sowing your royal oaks in a sense. You feel me?
Yeah, that's because they can't get no ass.
That's the thing. You got to test yourself. You got to be out here testing your strength and stuff like that. You feel me?
Right. I wanted to go into a couple things before we close out.
Yes, sir.
Dreams. You got Dreamwise, a part of your name. Let's talk about dreams, and then we're going to go into a couple more movies and things, and then we're going to, if you would like, I will have a Q&A from the chat, and they can ask a couple of questions. I won't have them go longer than 5 minutes. We'll close out.
Yeah, let's get it on. I'm here.
I feel like my research was leading, because I didn't get to talk to you about this. I've been looking into scientific research papers about what's going on outside of the firmament and things, and they're talking about some area in the constellation between Boötes and Draco. There's this cold spot. There's this ripple in the space and time or something, but they said it's there. They can identify there's this cold spot there, and they're naming it the Lady Babylon out there in the constellation. So what I realized, this occurred like way back in 2011 or something. They picked up on it 2017. So when Trump got elected, ironically. But my thing is, since that cold spot, or whenever they talked about the Mayan calendar, the end of the world, I noticed an increase in my dreams. Whereas I ask this question every video: have you ever had a dream and it felt like you've never been in that place that you're in the dream before? You've never been there before, but it feels so real. Whatever's occurring in the dream, you know that didn't occur in this lifetime, but it's almost nostalgic, as if it did happen. And I put a theory together. When you're looking into dream physics, internal, external stimuli, that we could be experiencing the multiverse versions of ourselves. If there's infinite different versions of ourselves, Could that cold spot be an indication, or could the Mayan calendar be an indication when they talk about the ending of the world? It's a infusion of these other conscious fields of what we can look into, you know, like Marvel, multiverse madness. They're talking about the everything's about multiverse.
Yeah.
And could we be? And also we got to talk about our brother Jonathan Majors, with him playing Cain the Conqueror, and him having the magic over the multiverse, which I think pertains to, in a sense, to the melanin as well. I be arguing and debating Chat GPT all the time now that Leah put me on Chat GPT. But could the multiverse be coming through dreams? How do you feel about dreams right now? Are we in a hyper apathic area of dreams? Is it like wild right now, or what is your on it?
From my experience, my dreams, I used to dream real heavy. I still dream pretty heavy. I still have my lucid dreamings, but what I'm noticing is you definitely got to be intentional, because there's something happening with these cell phones or these 5G that's taking you out of the dream state and not keeping your complete consciousness in the dream state. So essentially, you got to have your tourmaline crystals around your bed, your organite pyramids around your bed, and all of that kind of stuff to tap into the dream state more and more heavier, right? I know what dreams you're talking about. I'm thinking you're talking about the soul travel dreams, where you're dreaming from your pineal gland and not from this earthly realm. Because them soul travel dreams feels different than like a regular lucid dreaming. You feel me? Even just the lucid dreaming aspects of things, which is you dreaming from your solar plexus chakra. When I had my few soul travel dreams, I don't know, it felt, the feeling was so magnificent and glorious, if you will. It was like I was I felt alive. Honestly, I felt real alive. Like, you know, you I don't even know how to even explain the euphoric feeling that I felt. It was almost like unreal. It's something that I can't even really explain, the soul travel experiences that I had. But what I did see was kind of like an oasis of the space, if you will. It was like an oasis, like I'm at a mystical, magical resort, if you will. I don't even know how to explain that. It's almost like that Wakanda movie when you seen that. You feel me? Something of that nature. And I could feel myself in that dream, in that soul travel dream. Now, when you're lucid dreaming from your solar plexus, you know, that's when you try to fly and stuff like that. And I've had many, many experiences with the lucid dreaming experiences, but there's nothing like that soul travel where you be beyond this whole earth realm.
Mundane.
And it's something completely different, where it's not giving you a specific symbols in the dream realm, which is you staying in this fourth dimension, in this still concoction of the earth realm and the matrix, but it's you beyond the third and fourth dimension. Is you going somewhere that's what they call the great by and by, or like your soul is completely out of this particular realm. So that's I think that's what you're pertaining to, only in that aspect. But you know, mundane dreams is still well and good, because they help you in this third dimension realm. You feel me? So that's where I get all my information from, is the dream realm. So when you have these solar plexus dreams, essentially what happens is it's all about symbols, or what you've been sleeping on. You feel me? So what you go to sleep with on your heart, on your mind, is what's going to come into the dream space as symbols. Now you just got to decode the symbols, and then decoding the symbols, then you'll know how to move and be in motion in this third dimension. But if you don't decode them, then you're just out of luck, because our native language is just symbols, pictures. So we're not going to speak no English in this other realm that we're going to. It's just the whole thing is picture symbols. Now you can speak English because that's a creation of this place we call the Matrix, or this Earth realm, and this thing we're stuck in, this time space continuum thing we're stuck in. But beyond that, we have to really get back to our native language, which is moving how the wind blows, the feeling, the mechanism of understanding that you can see messages in people. You feel me? You can see, like, for instance, if you're just watching a Spanish channel and you see a guy and a girl staring at each other's eyes, you can understand the language. They're in a deep love spell, right? Or if they're arguing, you can see the anger in the message. You feel me? So that could give you 1,000 words without even knowing the language. So understanding and decoding your symbols in the dream realm is what your higher self is giving you to come back down here and get to work. You feel me? And get to work on whatever your dream was.
Yeah, that's why I got these. By the way, y'all probably wondering why do I have these doors here? I feel like the dream realm is like a revolving door of information, like you just said. Bobby called it the agathos daemon or daimon, the holy guardian angel. I think it's giving us scenarios. If it's not the multiverse, it could be giving us scenarios with there is coded symbolism in the scenarios if you can understand it, and you can start to debrief yourself once you find the patterns, and you can use it for divination. There is a type of science with it. I forgot the name of it. I think it's oneiromancy. I think that's what it's called, like using dreams for divination or something like that. But that's how I look at it. I look at it as a revolving door now. And if you study the science, like if you look into the science of a revolving door and how it turns, and I was saying, I proposed a theory on Patreon because I'm real deep like that, especially with me being a Pisces sun in Western astrology. I've got a lot rooted in dreams. So I talk about dreams all the time. So it's great to have, Dream Wise on here.
I say
about dreams. But I had a theory. What if it's gotten to a point where we're waking up in a whole alternative dimension every day? Like, what if the multiverse theory is correct? What if things are changing that we don't notice, or waking up like every time we wake up, we're in a different multiverse. Like the dream is like a doorway for us to enter in whatever version of ourselves that's in an alternative universe could be waking up in our life. I just be proposing things like that because I feel like such a shift sometimes. I'm like, am I in the right reality? Is this the same reality from yesterday? Right. So it's real crazy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's good. Only I think the multiverse of madness is just about choices that you make. So you're constantly you're in the multiverse of madness, because if you make the more different choices you make, the more you changing your reality. So I remember one time I was this is when I was trying to get my life together, and I got off all them drugs and stuff. And I had, and I was a sports person or whatever. And one of my coaches, don't you try to apply to be a personal trainer at this gym that he worked at 24 Hour Fitness. And I was like, yeah, all right, well, I'll see. And I'm driving home from work, and I could have turned left to go home. And I really didn't want to do that job. I was really like, whatever, right? I could have turned left to go home, but something just made me keep straight. And in me keeping straight, I said, all right, well, fuck it. I might as well just go see what's happening now, right? But if I would have turned right, or left or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I would have just never been in that reality of that 24-hour fitness job. Anyway, that 24-hour fitness job ended up getting me my wife that I have, my 4 kids that I have now,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And because I met her there, you see what I'm saying? And it propelled me to be basically on YouTube right now.
Mm.
So if I would have just, because I would have never went, I didn't really want to go. In my mind, I was thinking, nah, I could do something else. You feel me? I was still in that drug culture pretty heavy.
Right.
But just by me going, now I started to activate a level of discipline by being a personal trainer. You feel me? And the dude hired me on the spot because I got my degree in. Yeah, I got a degree in kinesiology, right? So he's like, "Oh shit, you got this? Okay, bet." So then he just was like, hired me on the spot. I didn't even really want to do it, but me just saying, "Ah, hey, fuck it, let me see what happens from it."
Right.
Did it, and it ended up working out marvelously for me, and then it propelled me now into uh, what I'm doing now. So the multiverse of madness is all constantly happening in our day-to-day realities. We just got to be able to understand how it works, right? I did something on it before, from the quantum realm. If we even look at the electron in your body, right, that electron spiraling to different cells is just essentially electricity making you move in a particular way, whether it's the lack of movement or emotion that you don't really need to be doing. You feel me? So people stay in the same autonomous nature because they're afraid to be chaos. They're afraid to do something different. So that doing something different takes you out of that robotic state. And that robotic state of mind is keeping you a cyborg. See, in order to tap into your melanin and your chaos, you got to do something different. Spirit might be hitting you and saying, "Nigga, I need you to go to that cooking class tonight. I need you to go to a cooking class tonight, tonight." And you like, nah, I don't feel, that's not comfortable to me. Nah, whatever, right? But in you going to that cooking class, boom, because you just trust spirit, you follow spirit, and you go into that cooking class, boom, you go. Now you meet a girl. That girl becomes one of your close friends and shit, right? Because y'all just hit it off quickly, right? But then she runs you into her homegirl, which then becomes your wife. And that wife that you have now she's into the real estate game, and she knows all about real estate heavy, and she's just gonna plug you in. Now all of a sudden you become this real estate mogul just by you going to a cooking class.
It's a ripple effect.
Right. So the multiverse of madness is, see, when you ask for spirit, you ask something for spirit. Spirit, I want to leave my job. I want to get out of my job. Right. And then all of a sudden in the dream space, spirit says, all right, well, I need you to go to this sewing class. And you can hear it clear as day. You see the signs and symbols of you sewing at a class. And you sitting there saying, and this part of your thing, because you like, wow, I really love clothing and da 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 da. And spirit saying, I just need you to go to the sewing class. Right. And you're like, I'm kind of old. I don't really, I don't really like people like that. I really want to stay to myself. Maybe I can learn something online. And spirit is just keep on hitting you in the head. Hey, I need you to go to the sewing class. And you finally take the courage, the Heru, which is Heru, just straight courage, right, to go. Then all of a sudden you go to that sewing class, and now you're in a whole multiverse of madness, of opportunities, of chaos, potential energy coming your way.
Damn, that was great how you broke that down. I noticed a lot of times when I took opportunities, otherwise, had I not gone there, and it is sometimes spontaneous. The spontaneous decisions keeps
Yeah.
you alive, and it keeps the chaos active, and it keeps you active in the chaos. So
Yeah.
the chaos doesn't. You're outside of the chaos. You're actually in the chaos, and you're working with it instead of it working occurring against you.
Yeah.
So I like being spontaneous, and I like making decisions or doing things on a whim sometimes, and I think it's a part of keeping you young as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because you can get into a rut and do the same things over and over because you're comfortable. You want to be comfortable a lot of times. A lot of times we need to be uncomfortable. So I like to do things sometimes make me uncomfortable. And
Hmm.
I think that's something magical, very much magical to that. But I think it also follows into atavisms and DNA with our ancestors,
Hmm.
activating something with because we don't know exactly, or if you're not tapped in, some of us do. If you're tapped in, you can talk to your ancestors. But
Hmm.
let's just say you're not tapped in. Maybe something spontaneously that you do is something that your ancestor was interested or did. You know, that's why
Hmm.
you have a nudge feeling to do it. And if you reflect on the show Lovecraft Country, because that was one of the greatest times I feel like for
Yeah.
me,
Yep.
um, especially being a part of the occult community. When we were breaking that Lovecraft Country, I can't remember the other brother that was on there with us, but it was me, you, it was another brother. I think it was two other brothers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was a few that last episode. Yeah, we had broke it down pretty good. Yeah, it was us. We was in there heavy. I think Will, uh, who else was it? Who else
Was
was
it
it?
Mike? Was Michael on there?
Oh yeah, Mike was on there. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah. That's what
Broke
it
down
was.
Mike.
Yeah, man. We remember the episode, I think it was, yeah, that was like episode 2. They were talking about Hannah, his
Mm,
mother, and
mhm.
how the book, I forgot the name of the book, but it was like they basically kept all of the ancestors so he could connect to on the astral plane and meet his mother. And the new series was supposed to be his son growing up, and his son was going to be able to access Atticus
Mhm.
from the astral plane, but they canceled the show because I think it was too powerful for people. What's
Yeah.
your thought with Lovecraft Country, and why did they discontinue? Because I was sitting around waiting like this shit is too good to cancel. They're just bullshitting. They're gonna bring it back, and they didn't.
Yeah, it was a very powerful show. You know, I decoded every episode. Every time it went live, I decoded. I
Me
said,
too.
"Up, here we go
Me,
again."
me
And
too.
it was good. Uh, I think there was an aspect. What was it? The mom and the daughter. Remember that, which is going back to that childlike essence again, or that
Mhm.
the black goddess. I think her name was Diana. Yeah, because I decoded the whole thing with
Oh,
Diana.
Safina, Serafina, the
Right.
big apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because she was Wonder Woman. The mom, the daughter is
Right,
No, yeah, the mom. Yeah, I think her name. Yeah, Diana was Wonder Woman,
right.
and
Here you
both
go.
of them. It was I can't remember what was the mom's name.
Oh, her name was had start with an H. It was a Greek. It was some type of Greek goddess. I can't remember
Right,
what it
but
was.
anyway, it was Diana and her mom, which was Wonder Woman and the other goddess. Anyway, we know they were black goddesses. You feel me? So it was just
Mhm,
showing the I am that I am, or the
mhm,
ability to create from the potentiality with uh
mhm.
with Diana, especially with the young goddess Diana. And she remember when they showed the monsters, that's her having to go through that specific fear. Because
Yeah.
that fear is what's keeping you human.
Mm. Say it
Yeah, that's
again,
her
brother.
name. Hippolyta
Hippolyta.
and
Hippolyta. Yeah.
Hippolyta and Diana.
Yeah.
They are goddesses that what you would say in the Greek mythology, are creators essentially, you feel me, and warrior goddesses. But it's about fighting off a certain urge to be human and comfortable and in a state of flux. So a good thing for the family to do to tap into your chaos is take a day off of work. I tell people this all the time, like you'll be out of that robotic, you ever take a day off of work, you'd be like, whoa, shit. Like I haven't worked a job in years, right?
Yeah.
And it's just based off of me manifesting and attracting opportunities to me. You feel me? Based off of me just following spirit. Right. So now in me following spirit, I set myself free to have adventures over and over and over again. So that's the same thing with Diana and Hippolyta. The potentiality or them creating that comic book was very powerful for them to shift into another gear. You feel me? Of you are the universe, your own universe. So that dark energy, which is melanin, is the permeating substance that creates. You feel me? You came down here to create. You didn't come down here to dwindle your thumbs. That's the whole thing with the Severance movie or Severance show. You seen Severance?
Oh my God, yeah, we got to talk about that. Hold on, that's too much sauce. You dropping too much sauce, but we got to get into the Severance next. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's that whole thing on that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you're in a conflux or a flux of the left brain prisoner.
You know, that's very esoteric, like the Innie and the Audi. And we've been talking about Severance for weeks, guys. So let me just bring it up real quick. But I do want to highlight that they did take that brother out, or they try to kill his Hollywood career.
Yeah, he was Jesus, remember?
Yeah, he was. At the end, they put him on the cross, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just the Christ consciousness taking out the black male, if you will. You feel me? Yeah. In a space of but it's not, but it wasn't as, because I don't think Misha Green wanted to be perceived like that. She wanted you to see that when Jonathan Majors was on the cross, right? You're killing off that flesh, that body, the human, so that Diana can come and reign supreme. That's when you seen her with the arm, the master arm. Because remember, just like we said with the childhood's end, the goddess, the young goddess, the girls is really the gods. And Diana being a black goddess, and her actually, we correlating her to Wonder Woman. That's you having the mystical power of it's not about a black female energy. It's not about black females in general, but it's about the divine feminine energy coming into the fold. You feel me? There's matriarchal energy coming into the fold, but it's a matriarchal energy in a childlike spirit, which is Diana.
That was powerful. Yeah, she had her left arm. We're talking about left hand path. I remember Mike bringing that up. I got to get Mike on here too. I got to interview Mike. I haven't talked to Mike in a minute. But
he just became a Mason and everything. I said, "There you go, Mike."
I did.
I got his book. His book is fire too. Here it go, right here.
Yeah, I got his book too. I got his book on my dresser right over there. I'll be reading his book all the time.
Yeah, my broke out Mike did it. Yep.
I thought he was a Mason.
I think he just started posting it on Facebook. His masonry and stuff.
Okay. I get it. But yeah, Mike is a brilliant mind. We call him a professor. But no, yeah. So the Jonathan Majors, I mean, we see what happened with that, and if the brother can, get something else generated like how Lovecraft Country was, that'll be great. Cain the Conqueror was definitely an archetype for the multiverse, and I'm hearing rumors that they're about to bring him back to play Cain, because they said
they're gonna bring him back.
Yeah, yeah. They about to bring him back. He was too good of a
Yeah,
Kang.
he was too good of an actor. They knew he had to be a and he knew it. He knew he had to go down his hero's journey. You know what I'm saying? He had to walk down a specific path of destruction, right? He got too high so quick that there was something that had to be destroyed. So he kind of came into a state of understanding that, you know, there is this is a game, and it's not everything's going to be handed to you. You're going to have to go through something. You feel me? And a lot of people are afraid to go through something. So here, Jonathan Majors being such a brilliant actor, and he been put in the work, but he had to go through the aspect of the glamour that he was not ready for. He didn't realize that you can't sit here and just talk all that conscious stuff without somebody putting a whooping on your ass. So that ability, remember, he was running from that white chick.
Yeah, that was the funny. I still watch that video sometimes.
That nigga was gone. He looked like a superhero in that. I thought that was a movie.
It was like a
look like Neuro. Yeah.
Yeah, he was running.
I said, dang, he gone. That was a great. I said, wow, this boy. And she was after him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she was. She was after him. It was like what was really happening. You know, some of the white women be after them black men.
Yeah, they know what time it is. They like, you ain't going nowhere with that wood, boy. Bring that thing here, boy. We ain't not trying to hear that. So they understood to the core that, or she understood to the core, like, I can't lose you, man, guy.
Right. And she was she had good stamina too, because she was keeping up right behind them.
Oh yeah, they not giving up. They trying to get that black wood. They trying to feel that in their stomach.
Right.
They know shit, because there's something else happening in the rhythm when you penetrate a white female. She like, whoa.
The black hole.
What is that?
Black hole, black pole. What it go?
That's that melanin. Yeah. She like, oh shit, it's going down. Hold on now. You feel me? They scoop them up. The celebrities, all of that. You feel me?
They're like, welcome to the indigenous realm.
Yeah, they know they basically get injected with a certain because you know that's the whole aspect of Shiva. You feel me?
Yeah.
That phallus, that black phallus is really the creation of the earth realm. You can't do nothing without it. You can't create nothing without it. You feel me? So that's an important aspect to understand. A lot of times we just get caught up in the goddess, but we got to understand that, fellas, you're important too. Your phallus is important as well, right? There's a book called what's the name of this book? I got so many books, I can't even remember what it was.
I'll be naming so many goddamn books.
Oh, here you go, right here. Gods of Love and Ecstasy.
What's it called?
Gods of Love and Ecstasy, the tradition of Shiva.
Gods
of Love. And in it, essentially, they tell a mythology about see, look, I got it all highlighted and everything. It says the linga, principle of life. Shiva's symbol is the linga or phallus. The penis is, in fact, the mysterious organ by which the creative principle manifests itself in giving life to a new creation. So we got to understand how important we are, fellas. You feel me? We understand the black goddess, but you can't do nothing without that dipstick. What Bobby used to call it, that
tallywhacker.
That nigga Bobby with that old South Carolina stuff, boy. Right. It is just the organ by which the creative principle is visibly represented in a particular species. The sperm, which potentially contains the whole of ancestral and racial heritage and the genetic characteristics of the future human being, is called the Bindu. Now you know that's the Bindu seed that we have to transmute up for us to create something here on this earth realm. It is in fact the infinitesimal and mysterious transition between non-existence and existence. That's you bringing a spiritual being down here to this life. The penis is therefore the organ through which a link is established between man and the creative force, which is the nature of the divine. It is the most perfect example of a symbol. So, this whole thing is about us understanding these different symbols in the form of us in study heavy. You feel me?
Man, that was enlightening, man. And
That book is deep, Tony. That whole thing is absolutely amazing. Like I said, I just read. You feel me? In the Patreon, that's all we do is just read books and just decode them, because that point of view from people's different perspectives is important for us to gauge different insights in thought.
Right. Yeah, I humbly believe that as well. And it's psychic energy to read. If you're not reading, you're not expanding your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I named a video behind Cinemancy because we talked about a lot of movies and TV series, and we'll discuss Severance here. The Cinemancy is very powerful because I was telling everyone on Patreon, we was watching this new anime called Solo Leveling, because I always highlight the anime, and a lot of people get mad or they'll leave because they think anime is like some children type shit. But that's how you get into the inner child, with recognizing that aspect. Watching anime or doing things that you would do when you were a child is really the real facet and basis of how the magical the magical universe is based upon. If you can't tap into that, like Bobby said, there's only a few people really alive. Everybody else, when they say dead people, they're talking about people that's not living magically.
Right.
So watching this anime Solo Leveling, there was this episode that came out last week, whereas the main character's mother, who was in this, she had a disease, it was called a sleeping disease. She woke up from the sleeping disease because he finally won the elixir of life from this demonic king that he had to defeat. Well, the same day that happened, dream-wise, that his mom was healed and woke up, was the same day my mom told me that she finally is receiving a kidney for her kidney failure. She was
I say, yeah, that's love, that's power, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful.
But you
Yes,
see, but you see how and yes, it is. It's very much. I said that was the happiest thing. The happiest I've been in about a year and a half. I told everyone. But the thing about it is, I'm highlighting how this is a new form of magic. We're watching these series, like watching these different TV series, because we're covering a different TV series every week, or we're doing it episode by episode. We'll have the 3 or 4, and we'll discuss them, and we'll pertain them to the esoteric, metaphysical, occult aspects that it can give us, and pointers in life or whatnot, spiritual journey. I think by watching this from a spiritual perspective can affect your universe. I think there's something sympathetic between it if you can understand it and apply it. Not how they wrote the movie or the TV series. It's not about the writer and how they wrote it.
right.
It's about how we're interpreting it and incorporating it alchemically to our life, and that's the reason why we're watching it. It's not for entertainment, it's for us and in our spiritual journey. So let's talk about Severance and pertaining to what I just said. I think it's Gnostic. You have a woman that woke up on a table, a office table. She don't know who she is, kind of like our ass when we're first born in the world. We don't know who we are, and come to figure out they've all suggestively become a part of this project, whereas they work for this company where they're implanting these chips. And I think this is really what's going on with celebrities a little bit too, dream-wise. I think somebody got chipped. And basically, when you get chipped, if you want to do the program, because most of these people, what's wrong with them? They're going through trauma and they want to forget a portion of their lives per day based on their trauma. So they get this chip inserted in their head and they get to work in this office with each other. But the other portion of the self that doesn't work in the office, they don't know, it doesn't know anything that you've done on the other side. Vice versa. The portion of your mind that works in the office doesn't know anything about the outie. So it's the innie and the outie. The innie works for Lumen, for this office. The outie, you know, comes home, gets into bed, wakes up the next day, go to work. But nobody knows what's going on until the main character, he's planning to blend both sides of the mind so he can see what's going on over there, because it's apparently the company isn't what they thought it was.
Yeah.
So speak about what you feel about Severance, and how have you been looking into that esoterically and in your thoughts?
Yeah, it's exactly what you said, Oni. I mean, it's essentially just the left brain prisoner. You know what I mean? Like that phrase Bobby coined a long time ago. This left brain prisoner is taking you out of your divine feminine mind, which is the right brain. So that left brain prisoner is you being analytical, logical, rational, and being a robot. You being in this robotic state. Not until you bring both hemispheres of the brain together in unison, which is the yin and yang or the whole, where you become holistic and you can have your right state of mind, your chaos state of mind. So with Severance, you know, it's them, the any is them being left brain prisoners. And in the outie, remember that last episode in season 1, they got a chance to experience their outie, right? And they woke up, and then in experiencing their outie, he realized, wait a minute, I have a feminine part principle, which is creative energy, right? A wife, which worked with him, which was the counselor that worked with him. The dude that didn't even get out, he has children, which is creative energy, right? The dude, the gay dude, he found out his lover. And then the person that's behind the whole thing, which is the lady, she realized that she's behind this whole mass situation, which is not about love. So the whole understanding of the outie was just complete love, which is the right brain, which is your creative, passionate, you moving in a space of fun, laughter, adventure, instead of you being stuck in a left brain imprisonment that keeps you just thinking about your survival. You feel me? This is about thriving and not just surviving. You want to thrive in the world. So when you're just stuck in a robotic space of paying bills, picking up your kids from school, going to do the job, same thing over, and driving the same way to work, essentially you just became a robot without you even knowing it. That's why I tell people you got to you got to take a day off. So you can break free of that mind control way that they want you to stay in, because that day off will kind of wake you up and be like, whoa, what was that? You feel me? A lot of people, they don't take no days off. And then even the weekend is synchronized to your robotic state. So that don't count. We're not talking about the weekends. I say you work Monday to Friday, weekends off. That's all synchronized to your state, because you're going to do the same thing on the weekends to get through to back to the workday. So when you take that day off abruptly, right, spontaneously, then you start to wake up and say, wait a minute, I really like to do this. I really like painting. What the fuck? I forgot I like to paint. Damn, I forgot I enjoy doing music. What the fuck would my mind been at? So, you know, it's a beautiful system that they created, and the show Severance is just showing you that you got to get back to the love. The
That's the
love
thing.
you have for yourself and the love you have in creating, which is what they were showing in the Audi.
Oh, wow. Wow. Great point. Great point. Because a guy was painting. And that's
Yeah.
another thing. I was talking to the family. I was reading this new book. Sean Woodward has his book on the keys to the Hoodoo Kingdom. And they were talking about the magic behind painting.
Mm-hmm.
Painting the spirits when you're connecting to the spirits. Some spirits communicate through color. And I've been talking to the family about tapping into the colors in the mind when you meditate, programming the colors in your mind. But when you, like the guy that was painting, well, he was actually painting melanin because the melanin, remember, it was dripping on his face when he was dreaming.
Yep. Yep.
And they're gonna say is what they call it, black goo. They're gonna say it's some programmable goo, but we know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But, they're talking about melanin, and that's the thing. Melanin has a high creative physics. There's a book on it by Mark Balfour on the serpent science and creativity. But the point is that you're absolutely correct that doing something that sudden shift and learning more about yourself from the shift and applying that what you learn about yourself, getting out of the rut of doing things. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to experience more, do more, stop the pattern that I'm in, and that's what's gonna enliven your melanin and thrill your spiritual journey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right and exact on that. Only he was painting that black door, right? And that's the melanin, and that's just that door is just symbolizing a gateway or entering into. So in my creative visualization, we go through doors. Remember the show Dark Matter? You seen Dark Matter?
Yeah, I did. I broke that down to all of the
Yeah,
doors.
so doors is essentially a gateway. So whenever I take people on these guided meditations, we'll walk down some stairs or we'll walk on a beach or if I'm doing an out of body experience, right? We'll walk, take them through the out of body experience and walk straight through their door because that's another level of entering into another gateway or into another reality. So that door he was painting was the exit door for him to get out.
Wow.
And him getting out is essentially him freeing himself back to his right state of mind, his chaos state of mind. Because, when he was painting it, he was still in a trance-like state. He didn't know he was just painting. He said, man, I've been painting these doors. And then he asked the girl, he said, man, you know where this door is? And she was like, hey, I'm on season 2, episode like 3 or 4. So I got to finish the rest of it.
Yeah, I gotta watch the new episode tonight. But I do realize his wife name is Gemma. I think his wife, the name really means gamma. I think it's talking about the gamma waveform because when you're yourself, you're in a gamma state. You function off the gamma state. And that's feminine as well. She's feminine.
Yep.
And it's
That's
crazy.
fly. Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep only because that's where we're trying to get to. Basically, that's a super conscious state. Because essentially, if you're in this beta brain all the time, right, you never get into a space of thinking for yourself. You just be robotic and moving through your day like on a whole, zombie kind of mode level. And then the alpha state, then the theta, then the delta is when you're in this deep sleep trance-like state, right? Where you can program yourself, but you're programming yourself with the worries and struggles of the day. So you're in a constant state of influx in the aspect of you are being severed or severance.
Wow.
Because essentially they don't need to put the chip inside of you. You are the chip. They just program you based off of you feeling worries and fears of the world. Remember they had that dance scene with the demons or whatever and all of that stuff. Again, that's the fear state plays vibration that's saying, stay away. Don't come in here. Don't break free of this. You know what I'm saying? And you can look at it because that I was like, oh, only gonna top on that. I said, that's seen the checkerboard floor. I said, I said, I know he gonna grab that. But that's just the black and white of that checkerboard, is that just polarity of the world. You feel me? Like and alike are the same. So it's just based off of how you want to see this thing play out. You feel me? In the whole grand scheme of things. You feel me? That masonry is a high science though, only.
I know. Listen. My conspiratorial side of myself is essential, I believe, because I think it does get you out of a robotic mind about how you think things are happening. Freemasonry, first of all, what we're talking about, our brother Mike, Freemasonry as a community, there's nothing wrong with that. Being a community Mason, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's this community-based Mason. My uncle is one of the top, what do you call it, Grand Master,
right?
Prince Hall or something. All of y'all know somebody that's in there's nothing wrong with, because I have somebody in my inbox right now trying to come at me about masonry. So I'm like, bro, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about alpha lodges. You don't know nothing about alpha. I'm reading this German guy's book. He talks about the alpha lodges. Now, there is secret societies, and I think that a lot of these secret societies infiltrated masonry to make Freemasonry the poster child of the Illuminati, which I don't believe. Freemasonry is a vehicle for them to utilize. Look at what they're doing. We're going to have them cover up their eye and do that because it's all fucking masonry, but really it's a cryptocracy. Is a bunch of other people working in the background that join Freemasonry so they had an agenda to infuse and make Freemasonry as the symbol of secret society, what's running the world and causing all this bullshit going on. But that's one thing set aside. But so the main thing is it is polarity. Like, did you see the scene when they were dancing with Mr. Milchick? And he brought in the had a fruit salad party, and they cut on the lights, and it was grooving and stuff, and that was very Gnostic because they were faking dancing. They were faking it, but the dancing was supposed to be some type of therapy of the illusion.
Yeah, it's kind of like when the jobs offer you a pizza party and shit. They give you that brag. Y'all all hit y'all goal, and hey, we got a pizza. We giving y'all pizza. You like what? Yeah, I used to be a PE teacher, and that shit used to like. You trying to give us what? Pizza? I said, boy, y'all better get that. Say a hot dog party and stuff like that. Like the absence of mind to see the level of small trinkets reward to keep you in the lieu of the severance state or the left brain prisoner state is the problem. Like, you have to be able to see past the veil of all of them tricks. See, they'll give you a reward at work to keep you working forever. Hey, we got Oni Osaru employee of the month. Now you feel important, which you haven't felt in a long. You're like, damn, I am somebody. And now all of a sudden you create this particular identity at this job, which second guesses you from leaving the job, because now you created this alter ego identity to be Oni at the job. You know what I'm saying? That kind of created character at that job to, hey, I got it. I'm kind of important. I'm kind of a big deal. You feel me? I tell you that was a tough thing for me to leave my job when I left. But I did it, and it was an alchemical process for me to do that. You feel me? And now it's been 5 years since I had a job, and I've been free ever since. I've been free from the mind control ways of being, essentially in a robotic state of my life. Like me and my wife, we manifested PE jobs, and we both left. You feel me? Because we knew that, and you can say our jobs was easy and everything, but we left because we knew we was worth more. We knew we had something else that we wanted to thrive and strive for. So I think a big part of leaving and becoming and going out to hunt for ourselves was us going into the chaos realm, because we had to destroy that system. We didn't give a fuck about none of this stuff. We said, all right, well, we just gonna do us and make it happen. Now, we didn't leave like haphazardly. We saved up money, of course, right? And then we made our move when the time was right, when it was time was to strike. You feel me? Right. And that's when you see how spiritual play works. Had the Master Student Conference 1, Master Student Conference 2, Mystic Mind Conference, and then all of a sudden supplements, and then now all of a sudden things just start coming to us in a specific way and manner where we just like sit back and let spirit guide us. You feel me? Hell, TikTok, I didn't even know my supplements be gone on TikTok. Like that shit crazy. I just put them on TikTok last year and that shit just took off.
Really?
Yeah, it just keeps on going. It's just gone like every month. I'm probably making 10,000 from TikTok alone.
Wow.
A month.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? And it might be more than that.
I never see.
I don't know what TikTok is. They just push your whole products out there.
Oh, okay.
So all I just do is I don't even say nothing on TikTok. You just go to TikTok. They go on and buying them. It's gone. So TikTok is something that I think is a gift to the family if you have a product to put on there, because essentially that shit. I said, "Oh wow, okay, oh happy day." But beyond that, it's not like relying on a certain system to set you free. I think we just relied on ourselves, and as we relied on ourselves, spirit just kept on moving us into particular spaces of attracting wealth to us. You feel me? And freedom.
Right.
So yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you just let go of the world and say, you know what, I'm gonna just run my purpose down. Now, I'm not suggesting nobody leave their job. I wouldn't say that. Don't leave your job. You want to be in your work and become that person first. You feel me? You got to be attractive so you can attract opportunities to you. You feel me? And then things will start to manifest accordingly. So don't leave your situation if it's feeding your survival. You want to be able to become attractive by you doing the work. You don't become attractive by trying to work harder outside of the world, like trying to get 2 and 3 jobs. You just invest in yourself more and more by doing your chakra work, doing your meditation, your shadow work, and then doing your creative visualization, right? All of that stuff. And then eventually what's going to happen is you'll start to sound different. You'll start to hear yourself different. And then you'll kind of wake up like the old boy is doing in Severance. And as you're waking up, you're reading stuff at your job. You feel me? You're picking up on stuff like he was doing with his brother-in-law. And then all of a sudden, it pushes you out of that sphere of consciousness or that robotic nature so you can get your mind back.
Man, that's powerful, man. And I'm almost there. Trust me, to leave my job. I had a phone call with my brother today. We're about to get a lot of stuff popping, family. And I think it's about that time that I expand and do what's necessary to do this full time. I've always had the ability to do it. I just, like you said, I've got into a robotic wave of working. And at my job, I don't work hard and they let me do what I want. So I'm like, why leave? But I think it's essential for me to develop this platform and other platforms, the classes, the academy, and full time, and I can't wait. I have so many ideals, family. Y'all have no idea
Yeah,
what
that's
we
love.
have in store for the future, but it's coming. And your talk today is an inspiration to me, and I appreciate you for that, brother.
Yeah, because
Definitely.
you know what it is. I think it's more so about like it's not about the job, because my job was easy too. It's just about somebody having the control to take away your
Right.
ability to
Right.
feed yourself, you feel me, and feed your child. And
Right.
just not only that, you just for them to say you have to be here at this time. So I didn't have a problem with my job at all. Like my shit, I used to play all day. But just the ability for them to even have that choice to say, yeah, let's just take this nigga job. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's a different level of
Play with you.
yeah, that's a different level of understanding that you have when you start to move into a different space of, and then just living out your passion, you feel me, your purpose driven
Mhm.
is a key thing as well.
That's what I want. That's what I'm going to do. It ain't not what I want to do, is what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna get into the Q&A portion so we can get on out of here. The first, I get a couple questions for you. We're gonna keep questions very limited because we got to get up out of here, family. Sorry if I don't get to your question. We're gonna leave your email and all your information so you guys can forward the questions over directly to Dreamwise, so he can answer and you guys can engage with him. So L is asking, what are ways to integrate child shadow aspects?
Child shadow aspects.
Yes.
So one, definitely you got to get back to the space of doing your chakra work, right? And obviously you got to start with your lower chakras first. You feel me? So your shadow self is just an aspects that you keep hidden from yourself. You keep hidden from the world. So that's the aspect of you, uh, maybe judging yourself because you don't want other people to judge you and stuff like that. So a lot of people now, these new kids, they're definitely tapped into their childlike spirit because they're doing stuff that moves them instead of like going the whole route of um the 9 to 5 swing or being in a space of retirement at 65 type of energy. You feel me? They're moving into a space of like, nah, my time is more valuable because it's not about uh, uh you bringing a sense of comfort to me. It's more so about you being in a space of quality of life and not just lost in a conundrum. So the shadow aspects is that you can do that shadow exercise that I gave y'all earlier. Look at yourself on stage and just express what you like about yourself, what you dislike about yourself. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that you keep hidden, your facial features, your body, right? All of that stuff. So see yourself on stage naked and express to your family and friends in the crowd the things you like and dislike about yourself. And do that over and over and over again. Visualize that self. And then what will happen is your shadow will start to merge with you. And that shadow just becomes that inner child where you're in a childlike kind of space, you feel me, where you'll be expressing yourself with fun, laughter, and freedom. So that adventure is important. And if you're not having that adventure down here, then you're basically dead.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
gotta have an event like what you're doing now, only us doing this build. This is an adventure.
It
You feel
is.
me? Like people will be afraid to get on YouTube and they might have the gift of a lifetime, but they holding themselves back because the judgment of their family members. Why are you
Mhm.
doing that? You know what I'm saying?
You won't believe what my family members think of me.
Yeah, they on my ass. Yeah, definitely.
Mhm. So y'all know
Yes,
we got to do what we're supposed to do. We're gonna live in that light. We're gonna have two more questions, or one more question after this. Sin Nana Abzu Inki. ask, do you think this is a Earth-like simulation and we are purging evil here to be born in the base reality? Babies plugged into this thing, question mark. That's an interesting question, right?
Right. He said, do you think this is a Earth-like simulation? So we was going through this a long time ago. We're like advanced robots. These bodies is human. So we don't know how powerful this game is that we're playing. This is an advanced technology that is beyond any kind of thought. You're in a big video game and your higher self is playing a video game. And the more you get into your consciousness, the more you'll be awakened to the game, because you're in the game, right, with your higher self, but you're out of the game because that's part of the game. So we're advanced robots and we're trying to understand how to beat this game, or how to get back to our right state of mind, because we're in a cosmic boredom, if you will. You feel me? That cosmic boredom is us being the by and by the greatest, the alpha and omega forever, infinite being, right? So we're bored in this specific space of bliss. So we have to put ourselves into pressurized situations to have fun again and experience some kind of level of struggle, which then brings in a more enlightened state.
Man, I love that answer, man. That's great. And that's what I try to tell people. To live magically, you have to go into the adventure and experience these things. Don't hold yourself back and completely be in your practice. Don't get outside of what the practice is. Be in your practice day to day. Because some people, they can get a little bit sidetracked. Some people are easily get sidetracked by little things. But I'll always have my spirituality comes first. And people, you see me out in public, I might go to a bar or some shit like that. Y'all might see me out there with some dead folk, but you best believe I'm naturally, for me, I know why I'm there, and I'm around the frequencies. I'm not in the frequency.
Yeah.
I'm around the frequency, but I can drop into my root chakra anytime and deal with a motherfucker.
Yes,
which
sir.
I had to. Brother, I'm too old. I had to get into a damn fight last year, man. I hadn't fought in damn 10 years. Had to knock this 6'5" dude out. Because I explained the story. I remember the story. I had to knock this brother out at a bar. And I'm like, why you made me do that, man? You don't know what
Hey, sometimes you need your ego. Got to remind these fools, huh?
Yeah. God damn it, man. And the dude was leaking and everything. I'm like, why y'all made me go into my root chakra and do that? But anyways, so we
can that's spiritual too as well. Only that's like that moralism thing got to be thrown out the window. There is no such thing as good and bad, right and wrong. So we got to understand that everything is spiritual, because maybe you got in that fight to understand another level of chaos or aggression that you need to display in specific manners.
Oh, yeah, because I had a brand new jacket, had a new $300 jacket on, and the jacket had a dragon on it. It had a dragon before we even entered. It was the year of the dragon last year. So I didn't even know that the dragon, really, I bought the jacket because I liked the colors of it. I bought it out the mall. I didn't order it online. I bought it that day out the mall because I liked the colors, but I didn't realize it was a dragon. And I was expressing my dragon, by doing so. And I broke that whole thing down. But yeah, you just messed with the wrong one that day.
That's shame.
But yeah, I say. So this is going to be the final question, guys. I'm sorry. Y'all can forward. We're going to get your information right after this one, brother. Tylon Slaughter says, what's the best place that you can get Ormas or monatomic gold, in your guys' opinion?
I used to get that monatomic gold for Deborah Blair's site back in the day. I think 19 Keys and Blue Pill is still selling the monatomic gold, if I'm not mistaken. Ormus, you can get that off of, I know I've been seeing it on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok, Deborah Blair's site. You got to, it's a different site. It's something Chicago Metaphysics something, right?
Okay.
So I don't want to misname it, because there's one that's actually a fake site. Somebody just copied. It's crazy, yeah. But the monatomic gold, I would say go to blue and red for that now. But you know, you can do because I think they call it gold water. You feel me?
Yeah, they got gold water, yeah.
Right, but you could do different things. Like Oni was talking about the tuning forks. Put that on your pineal gland, right? I got a tuning fork. I got a whole bunch of them. Stimulate your pineal gland like that, right? The belladonna, rubbing that on your pineal gland, tapping your pineal gland. You feel me, to wake it up.
Pineal balm.
Yeah, all of that different stuff, right? That all, and then I sell the Harataki. So go to my website, haratakimentalalchemy.com. That's going to put your body in an oxygenated state, and then oxygenate your mind, which is going to oxygenate your pineal.
Hello, you there, brother? I think your thing froze. As soon as the brother was talking about that thing. Can y'all hear me? Put a thumbs up. I don't know what happened. Okay, he froze. Okay. Okay, well, we still here, family. I guess we got to wait. Your brother, he going to realize that he froze, going to come right back in here. All right. So, yeah, we're going to get ready. Well, let me just list some of his information before he comes back. Like he said, the website is called, okay, there you go. Hold on, let me see if I got him back in. You can hear me, brother? Oh, okay. Hold on, he's getting it right. So his website is mentalalchemy.com. You can click the tab. I got all of his information there. Mentalalchemy.com. And you guys, if you haven't followed him, he's on Dream Wise. So you follow Dream Wise, or on YouTube it's called @Dream Wise. Put both words together, and that'll give you to his YouTube channel. So mentalalchemy.com. Well, he kind of combines mental and alchemy, so it's like MENT, then alchemy. So he combines both of the words. Mentalalchemy.com and Dreamwise is the channel. And yeah, we're thankful for the brother to come on. I wish he could come back so he can share the rest of his information. How do you guys like the show? It was pretty fire today. Oh, okay. Draw just told us what happened. Okay, the power went out. Okay, there you go. There he goes. There we go, brother. There we go.
Yeah, that whole thing was crazy. You know, that was a spiritual message. It said it's time to go, baby.
It's time to go. It's time to go. That's the spirit. Okay, we just wanted you to list where they can find you, email or whatever, so they can reach out, brother.
Yeah, just go to Dreamwise on YouTube and you'll find me. If you find everything on there.
Okay, y'all go to his YouTube page, Dreamwise, and y'all get his information from his page. And I appreciate you for coming on, brother. It was an excellent show, man. We got to do it again.
Yes, sir. Oni. Yes, sir. I appreciate you too, God.
Yes, sir. We'll be back soon, family. I got some things lined up. I will be on a podcast this week coming up. I forgot the name of the podcast. Let me hold on. I don't like to do people like that. I will be on. Let me see. Okay, here it is. It's called the 6th Sensory Podcast on Tuesday. You guys tune in that evening, 6th Sensory Podcast. With that, I'll Rimpoya, I'll Oshulu, Ashe to the ancestors. Peace.